They brought Palpatine back.
I know. Nobody asked for that.
Why?
Nobody asked for Palpatine.
Why? I still, to this day, I still cannot. It's like my entire life, 40 years, bro. 40 years, and this is how that they decide to close the chapter. Well, decide to say that it's closed because it's closed. This chapter was closed with the original trilogy's ending. This thing that Disney was doing, it was like, hey, they brought a new Star Wars movies, man, and this actually is exciting, and we were all excited.
Hmm.
We were all excited about it, and we saw the first one, and we noticed like, hey, it's awesome. We were
Wars is
happy.
back. Yeah. We said that's exactly how we felt
I
about it.
mean, and even though we would notice that they kind of followed the plan a little too close to what they've done already, but that's okay, So what if Luke is a girl now? Like, it's still amazing, you know. And the Death Star is the
Is a death planet. Yeah. That's
Star
fine.
Killer Base.
Yeah.
What is that? It's still awesome, sure. And I was on board, and then the second one is like, yes, I'm completely down with everything. The Force can do some crazy shit. It's like, I don't mind. That looks amazing. The planet with the red salt. I love that. And
I still feel The Last Jedi is probably one of the best.
The Last Jedi
Is probably one of the best.
Yeah. Well, that's really,
what I mean? It's up there with Return of the Jedi. It's up there with with
I
Rogue
believe it.
One.
Rogue One, man.
Yeah, it's up there.
See, they did Rogue One, and we're like, okay, these people understand.
We never asked for it.
This is. I certainly didn't. You remember? I was very skeptical. I was like, oh man, come on, this is not Star Wars. This is like a spin-off, and I'm not too fond of spin-offs, except when they actually work great, like Sprecher. But I was like, oh man, I'm not sure about this Rogue One, and I came down of it. It's like super excited.
Yeah.
And
I was just like, this was actually extremely well done, well thought out. Acting was good, a lot of good, some okay. But overall,
the effects and everything else was.
And what it did, it gave you a little bit of, the severity of the war. They were, the actual seriousness of the war, and then they made freaking Darth Vader badass again, and
absolutely.
He wasn't badass at the end of the remake of Return of the Jedi. No. Oh dear Lord. I'm like, oh, no way.
But Palpatine, bro. They made it
Palpatine, dude. I'm so disappointed with the entire freaking
new trilogy.
Just everything, dude. I'm just like
with
Star
the Disney
Wars.
versions.
Everything, bro. Everything.
See, I can't say everything because I still have my heart on the originals. Are
yeah, but the originals have been adjusted. I can't even access the originals no more because they have the Ewoks with eyelids now because that needed to happen. The problem is if you really, really, really think about it, the original that you and I fell in love with doesn't exist anymore. Or if it does, it's locked somewhere. We're never going to see it.
It does. It has been restored. It's a very pirated version.
Okay, yeah. So there's the pirated version of it. It's almost the same, but it's not. Because by pirating it, it's saying, hey, it really doesn't exist.
You know what? You know what? You know what the ironic thing is that it took up. You might say a group of rebels to save that movie. To save the version of Star Wars that we all know and decrapify it and normalize it and keep the things that help. Because I'm not gonna say the special editions just crapped all over it. I'm not gonna say that. There's some parts that they actually made things cleaner at the very least. At the very least cleaner. Not necessarily. I'm not talking about necessarily adding stuff, Yeah, I could do away with all that, but they certainly clean the material that they have. As far as making a sharpening is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I got you. I know what you mean.
So to get to get that, to have to go to the deep corners of the internet to get that almost feels like like this is sort of a resistance against the mighty empire that is trying to keep you from ever getting to see those movies again in their proper format.
Exactly. And you know what? I know Disney well enough to say we're going to get those formats again. And they're going to be sold to us in a new, Ultra Blu-ray, or you can see it only on Disney Plus because they've completely restored it to the original George Lucas's version. And it'll happen. It'll happen because they know people want it.
It'll happen,
and because they know people want it, like we'll wait because we can sell it back to them later. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Do you not want to see the lady with the lips singing in the Return of the Jedi?
No, I don't. Nobody did. Let's be real. No one did. No one asked for that fool.
No one has to change the Jawas celebration.
Yeah. No one looked at that entire.
Not the Jawas. Sorry, the Ewok.
Jabba the Hutt. Yeah.
The Ewok celebration at the end of Return of the Jedi for the different endings of each planet.
Of the planet, which is also contradictory to exactly what happened because this was one part of the war. This was just, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not over. The Coruscant didn't suddenly just overthrow it. Coruscant was completely run by the Empire. That's not how that shit works. I'm like, oh my God. But just to have, I don't know, bro. Like I was gonna say, no one looked at the Jabba the Hutt scene in Return of the Jedi and said, you know what, this scene needs more alien jazz. That's what this scene needs. Exactly. And that's only George Lucas saw that, and he will like bend over backwards saying, "This was what really I wanted. We just didn't have the technology at the time." So, this is not what you wanted, dude. Come on, man.
Yeah. See, this is why I have more respect for Star Trek, because in Star Trek, they decided to, you know what, you want to reboot? Let's match it up together with the original normal timeline, and let's just diverge the timeline and say, oh, all those events, that took all the way the Picards and the Janeway and all that still happened, but we kind of like diverged it because of the of an event, and we're just gonna redo now the Captain Kirk era, and this is how it looks like. This is the new Kirk, and this is Star Trek alternate reality version, I guess. But hey, it's awesome. It looked awesome. We all enjoyed those movies, or at least I did. Yeah, and they're not retconning anything about what happened with the Picard era and the Janeway era and the Cisco era and all those and obviously Captain Kirk, the original series, Captain Kirk.
James Tiberius
Kirk. Yes.
If that is ever a freaking porn name, I don't think I've ever heard of that. Man. Let's be real, bro.
I don't know what's the porn you're watching. Maybe Japanese porn.
That's what that is right there. That is an amalgamation of both porn and 70s right there.
Just like every Star Wars name.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yes.
Don't think I don't know Zulu. I know what that's about.
The beef Fortuna. I mean, come on,
For sure.
That's what I call my dick.
And with that, welcome back, guys. This is Arnaldo, aka Mad Dog, and this, of course, is the real episode 256 of GG's The Mouthful podcast.
GG.
That voice, of course, like completely loving us with his GG. Yes, that's meant to be, sound funny for you.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, we're already there. We might
always got to make shit awkward, That's just.
That voice, of course, is Mr. Dave Santos, aka Dream Twister. What, sir, is up with you?
What is up, good peoples? Yes, It is the one and only. Oh wait, no, I can't use that. That's trademark by Chaos.
Oh, the one and only. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, the one and only. I'm just interested. There are a few of us around. We just
The
come out of our
second and
caves.
many.
Yeah, I am 7 of 9.
Nice, nice. Another reference. Nice.
Yes, there you go. See, I
Nice,
didn't. You
nice.
were there.
Well done, sir. Well
Yes,
done.
sir. Yes, sir.
We are both here, and we're both feeling very not good because one of us ate a little too much, and the other one also overdid it, but in a different way.
No, you ate too much goodness. I ate a little bit of crapness. Never.
There's just certain things that don't go together.
No.
And what you put together in you know what? I'm going to be fair. In my mind, when I think of that, I go, that sounds good. A taquito with some ranch. Yeah, that's gotta go.
Well, now you just gave away my recipe. Now you just gave away my recipe to the public. The secret recipe that has been in my family for generations. Yes. From the 1900s.
I didn't say the ingredients of said taquito, or it's it's
let's say them. We might as well. It is the great value chicken and cheese taquitos.
Oh, nice! The great value, nice.
Yeah, so they're not even the good ones. Then they are nothing but the flour, basically, just like wrapped together very tightly.
A couple strings of chicken in there.
I think caldo de pollo. I think is what they put in there because that's like you can't feel it. That's the thing, you can't feel it. That is not. First of all, those taquitos are not good. Let me clarify because there's another type that I know that I heard that a lot of people call like flautas, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And those are kind of like made a little bit like they look like made of hard the hard taco shell, but like wrapped the same way. Kind of like a straw, and they have meat, and those taste good. And I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about the other kind that are made of the same thing that the burritos are.
Mm-hmm.
Except that it's just all of that. It's just if you took one of those things and you just rolled them up like a Cuban cigar and they just ate that. That's what it tastes like. You're not putting anything in there. It says they have chicken and queso, but it has none of that.
You heard it here first, guys. Great value taquitos. Tastes like a rolled up cigar.
So it's like a rolled up Cuban cigar. Yeah. Maybe I should be smoking those instead of eating them. Maybe that was the thing.
I think you read the box wrong, sir.
Yeah. I mean, they're still in the freezer, so I don't know if that.
Okay.
So I figure, this I don't want anything like right now. I ate and I ate good. My wife cooked me a great lunch, and it was enough. But I know that this podcast that we record, they tend to go over for a few hours. So I was like, I don't want to be yawning or feeling hungry or in the middle of the podcast. So let me just put something in my stomach, right? And I grabbed that and I started eating this, and of course this tastes like cardboard, so it's like whatever. I just don't want to be hungry. And I see ranch sauce, and I figure, maybe this will flavor it up a little bit. And I just put it together, and I'm like, oh, actually, you know what? This is not bad. This is actually tastes good. Of course, the only thing tasting good is the ranch sauce by itself.
It's hiding the cardboardness.
Yes, the cardboardness of it. It's now is because you wouldn't drink ranch sauce, all right? Or you wouldn't take it in your finger like, ranch sauce. Like you wouldn't.
You would
do
think
that.
I'd never do that, but go ahead.
No judgment from here.
Thank you.
But so what I was telling you is that you need some sort of vessel that can transport the taste of the ranch sauce into your mouth, right? So I put them together and they were great. And I just kept eating and eating and eating them until I realized, like, oh crap, I got a crap. No. Until I realized, like, oh crap, I feel sick actually. This was not a good idea. I probably had like the equivalent of just drinking that half a bottle of that ranch sauce by
damn.
itself, in these taquitos. And that's a horrible idea. So don't do that. I don't know what those taquitos. What else would they be used? What they were good for? But
I mean, if you ever you get paint, and you know how sometimes the paint is not evenly, distributed, so you got to stir it so that the paint. You can always use it for that.
You can use it for that. There you go. and then you go ahead and try to see if it tastes good.
Yeah.
Don't try this at home.
I can definitely say what I had was a little better, but I just want to give a shout out to the pork dumpling. Which is
that sounds good.
Some of the best,
that's how you
best
eat.
invention that has ever been made is the pork dumpling, and we just ordered some from Fridays. We generally Grubhub because it's like getting off work and it's like nobody wants to fucking cook.
No,
and so we Grubhub from a little Vietnamese place, and we ordered. I ordered way more. Like when you're hungry, it's the worst time to order, dude. So I'm gonna have some of these dumplings. I'm gonna go get these summer rolls. I got myself a bowl of curry soup. And before you know it, I'm through it all, and I still have a summer roll, and I'm like, I can't let it go to waste, so I have to eat. So
so good.
Yeah, it's let's just say it's sitting como una pelota right now.
So right now we're both like bellyache, like let's get this over with. I'll probably puke in the middle of the.
Yeah, don't worry, we'll edit that out. No one will be the wiser. That it'll just sound like you called Ralph, and it's no big deal.
There you go, exactly.
Well, guys, thanks so much for tuning in and letting us discuss to you in this early hours on a Friday night.
We still have more discussing things to discuss.
You have no idea the levels of disgust that are on its way. But if this is your first time listening, first off, go to goodgame.rocks. Join the conversation there. That takes you right to our Facebook group. And of course, please like, subscribe, share the podcast with everyone. What we normally do, guys, is first we go into what we have been up to, move on into various news items, and then we finish with our hot topic of the week. This week's hot topic, Justice League. Oh, I guess I should say it right. Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Thank you.
Spoiler review.
There you go.
We're going to spoil the shizat out of this damn 4-hour long.
I thought you were going to say that you were going to spoil the Shazam out of this.
The Shazam. Yeah, the Shazam out of this. Yeah, spoilers. Shazam is in the film. Oh!
Is it? I missed it then. Damn it.
Sure did. Well, you know what? You didn't see the black and white cut.
He's the black and white cut. Yeah. Oh, shit.
Sure
this movie has a black and white cut.
If you blink twice, at the 1 hour 32 mark, and you just kind of squint a little bit, you'll see him.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just regular lightning bolt.
I guess that's easily confused.
Shazam! Shazam was not. Did you ever watch Shazam?
I did.
Okay, what'd you think? What'd you think about it? I forgot.
It was all right.
Exactly. It was like, you know what? I know you're not trying to be much. You're the Ant-Man of DC, so sure, it worked.
The Ant-Man of DC. Damn, that is hilarious. I'll have you know that Ant-Man is actually a hilarious character.
Paul Rudd is a lovable person. His character. Yes, he is. He's Ant-Man. I was gonna call him Can't-Man.
He is he can't man either. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. But Shazam. Anyway.
So we're just gonna spoil the hell out of Justice League. It is. We promise not to spend as long as the film takes to deliver us.
Oh no, you're not working tomorrow, so.
Damn.
We might go overdrive here.
Oh damn. The wee hours of the morning discussing
the Mad Dog cut, we're going to call it. Yes, It's happening.
There it is. Oh, my God. All right, guys. Let's start with what we have been up to. Sir.
Whoa. What?
Other than disgusting yourself with ranch, what you been up to?
Oh, man. Other than Division 2, right? Because you guys are tired of hearing me talk about the Division 2. Because it was mostly been playing, or not mostly, but Usually, I actually been playing a lot of Nier Automata this
Oh,
week. Actually, yes,
really?
yeah, yeah. This is a game that you guys know. It's very near and dear to my heart. I played it in 2017. I love that. Gave it my game of the year. No, I didn't give. Did I give it to game of the
Yeah, it
year?
was your game of the year. Yeah.
It was my game of the year. Okay, all right. I get confused because there was a year there, 2017 or 2018. There was a lot of really good games. What's
2018. Yeah. 2018 had Spider Man and God of War, and it had a bunch of others too. I can't remember,
was it
but
was the
it had
year
a
that
good.
had like Doom also
That was 16.
and Titanfall 2? That was 16.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, okay. So 2017. So there you go. Near Automata, Near Automata, 2017 Game of the Year. I played the what the hell did they call that now? The Be as Gods edition, whatever they're calling it now. Anyway,
Oh, okay. I
yeah,
didn't know
I'm
that.
gonna call it the finally the fixed PC port version of it is what I'm gonna call it because this game was released also on Steam, and it had some bugs and some visual glaring problems. Let's say, like the fact that it wouldn't register the resolution correctly, so it'll play with everything squished, for example.
Oh,
And
damn.
Square Enix never gave a fuck about fixing it at all. They didn't release a patch for it at all. Like they just left it to die. A great title. What could have been a decent port. They just left it to die. And 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 that's why I don't trust the next, what is it called, replicant that's coming out. Like I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't trust the PC version for that. So weirdly enough, that game came up on Game Pass of
Oh,
all
okay.
of all places. So it's the PC version is available on Game Pass, and somehow they actually made a lot of fixes. They didn't completely unfuck it, but they made a lot of fixes that made the game, because we consider a fairly decent port, I will say.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say it's stellar because it's not. That game, it's still not like the ideal port, but it is very playable now without having to resort to downloading patches from fans that they have done. Admittedly, a very good job of fixing that game. But it shouldn't fall to their hands.
I agree.
Um, to mod the game to fix it. So, uh, real quick, because you guys already know that how I feel about Nier Automata. It's one of the few games that I don't get tired of playing. I love the action set pieces, uh, where it becomes a side scroller, or it becomes an over the head shmup. You know,
Mm-hmm.
uh, bullet hell, as some people call it. Uh, so it plays with angles, and it changes them. Not often. It's not like it overdoes it, but when it does, it's a welcome addition. I love the character to be, and whoever voices her in English does a phenomenal job. I really like her. And 9S. I think the soundtrack, I've mentioned it, in my opinion, is the best soundtrack in gaming. Full stop. I've said it. That I really, really, really love the soundtrack of that game. Um, I love listening to the themes of the amusement park. The A section of the game is called the apartment complex, and the sort of overworld music that plays also. I like the way that it plays with the vocals. Like sometimes it removes the vocals, but you still can hear, you still hear the melody depending on the scenario. Or sometimes when you pause the game, it'll make the vocals do a reverb kind of like if you were listening from the backstage or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I like those little details. Like you can see those particular. You're gonna appreciate those particular details if you're paying attention. If you're already enjoying the 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 source material. I love how also the you know quote enemies, quote unquote enemies, have this rusty wind up toy look to them, um, and uh, so and they look like expressionless toys at
Mm-hmm.
first, but as you're playing the game, you come to realize that some of these characters have an amazing way of expressing emotions in in what they're saying. Like you end up caring for a few of this of this one of this persons, and I call them enemies in parentheses because I guess it's the game start as if you are in a conflict, against them, and for the and for the most, if not all, the game you are, but there are, there's a few exceptions that they don't want to fight, they want to be pacifist, even though you're trying to. The game throws themes of existentialism and feeling emotions and feelings in these characters. When you look at the characters, they're like they don't look like just like robots. They look like little toys, basically, you know. And yet they have developed family, the families or this community and stuff like that. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy what it does. Um, so yeah, that's those are, you guys already know that I like those things. I don't like everything though. The game is not definitely not perfect. Um, the overworld, or the game world, I should say, um, it does not look great. Honestly, it's just a bunch of grays and yellows and some greens. In PC and in PS5, the game is locked as 60 frames per second,
Mm-hmm.
and even though it feels smooth, the world still does not look, great. It's passable at best. Is what I can describe it. There's a lot of popping issues, and like texture morphing, that it's frankly it's kind of inexcusable nowadays. We have these powerful machines, already. That it doesn't make any sense that a game that came out for that came out on PS4, and now you can play it on PS5 and on PC, and you still have like inexcusable popping when you're running around the world. Like when you look at games like um, Horizon Zero Dawn, for example, is one of them, or
Mm-hmm.
it's a
Yeah, for
perfect
sure.
example. That
Yeah.
game is gorgeous. You look at the vistas and it looks amazing. And I can only wish there was a near Automata 2 or something like that that would look, that level of amazing. That will take that, but no, it's definitely absolutely not. This version, like I said, it's still a lot more playable than what came out on Steam, but I would say it's still poorly optimized. Even though it maintains a solid 60, yes, but I'm talking about the way things look around when you're running and stuff like that. Um, the Game Pass version is definitely better than the Steam version, no doubt, no doubt. So I mean, what the fuck is that, right? Uh, because the worst, they're not fixing the Steam version. So if you bought this game on Steam, which by the way is now getting review bombed to hell, you have the right to be angry because you either have to buy the version in the Microsoft Store or be a Game Pass subscriber to actually be able to decently play this game without having to mod it to hell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just messed up. And again, like Square, what are you doing? You have another near game coming out, in near replicant, version 1.2. I'm just gonna call it version 1.2. I'm not gonna recite all the numbers after that. It has a bunch of numbers, which is a prequel to Near Automata. Is it Automata or is it Automata?
I've heard it both, but more often Automata.
Automata. Okay. Let's call it Near Automata. But we have Near Replicant, which is a prequel to Near Automata, and how are you gonna get people to have any faith on getting the especially the PC version if after what you did with Near Automata? Not to mention, I'm sorry, but Near Replicant, it's looking fucking terrible. I don't know.
I didn't want to say anything. I know we saw it before, and I was just like, "Ooh."
It's not instilling any confidence on it. It's like it looks like the best I can say is that it's looking like a low effort remaster.
Yeah, and that's actually the issue because then this is a 11-year-old game, right? It came out like in 2010, the original. The what it's based off of, and so it's like if you just remaster that, you know what I mean? If that's what you're offering, I don't know, man. It doesn't look good.
We have next gen consoles. That is, if you didn't want to make it next gen consoles, at least make it considering the fact that some people have the next gen consoles and they can and they can play them. Let's say at an unlock at a solid 60, like bump up those visuals. I mean, because now you look at them and it looks very PS2-ish, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
it's like very high end PS2-ish game, or okay,
or maybe, low end PS3.
Maybe low end PS3. Sorry, that's a more realistic, because in all reality, it sort of look a little bit worse than Automata does. And I mean, I fucking love Automata. I love that game, but not for its visuals, not for its vistas and stuff like that. No, this game is deep in other areas. It's definitely not graphical. Although they I do like the character design. I love the character design, but that's about it. So yeah, I've been playing a little bit of that, and I think I intend to keep at it until I beat it again. Because I remember that game had a very special ending, and I kind of want to relive that. Not to mention that the ending that I picked did not allow me to play the DLC section of the DLC version where you actually battle the CEO of Square Enix.
Oh yeah, I remember that. No, it wasn't the Square Enix. Wasn't it the CEO of?
It was both. It was the Square Enix and the Platinum.
Okay.
Yeah. So I need to play that, and I didn't. And I even bought the DLC. Unbeknownst to me, that one of the choices that I made in the game. Spoilers for those of you who haven't gone to the end. One of the endings is you get to help other players that might be undergoing a very particular section of the game that is difficult, although not necessarily, although completely optional, but it's very difficult. And the way you help them is by sacrificing your save game, and it literally did. It starts erasing everything, and you start seeing your save game being erased, and your menu options being erased, and your unlocks being erased, until it leaves you with a game that is just like, I'm surprised that it didn't delete any patches, probably because it didn't have any. But at the moment that it happened, I thought it was like awesome. I thought it was like, oh my god, But my name will live on, and I'm gonna be helping other players and or my character or whatever. But then I was like, shit, I can't. You mean to tell me that I cannot access the DLC now? That I paid $10? You're gonna make me go through it again? So now I get to actually do it and do it right. And who knows what ending will I get at that point? Because, well, who knows? Anyway, the last game that I started actually playing, it's a little title actually that you hold, I think, fairly near and dear. Little Nightmares.
Yes, that's what I was hoping to. I was like, please say Little Nightmare. Please say
Really?
Little Nightmare. Yeah. I was like, come on. Yeah.
I didn't know you were gonna guess it.
I know you were. We were just talking about it. Yeah, we were talking about it, and you bought you got it on the sale. And I'm like, man, why is it even? It's not even that long. Jeez,
it was $5 on. I was late. I was saying, finishing up my Division 2 session, and I was talking to Dark Necrodancer from the group, and and while he was talking, I was just like checking casually on the menus and stuff, and then I noticed, oh, wait a minute, this game is $5, dude. I'm getting this now. Click, and I didn't want to wait. I as soon as we were done, I was like, I'm gonna try this game because I'm too curious. So I played not much, honestly. I didn't play enough to give it a judgment. I could say that I played enough to tell you that I really like what I'm seeing, and I do want to continue. Obviously,
got a great art style, right?
It is. It does have a very spooky, fantastic art style. You nailed it when you said it. It definitely reminds me, and in a lot of ways, to Inside, which Inside was a fantastic game. I love this type of games because you don't have to like wander around the map doing stupid stuff, getting collectibles and stuff like that. Your main thing in this game is just, moving continue going forward. Just find a way to pass some areas, and in some of them I haven't encountered anything that has been too difficult to figure out, because obviously, like I said, I'm on the very beginning still. But I can tell that some of these things are going to be a little bit of thinker puzzles, maybe, or at least I'm hoping to be challenged that way. The game you're playing at this little child actually, who either wakes up from a nightmare or wakes into a nightmare. I want to say it's the latter because his reality is very, like, very eerie and weird, and you can barely see his features, at least early on.
So real quick, it's a her, and her name is Six.
And her name is Six. Okay, well, you probably spoiled a discovery that I should have actually had.
You're never gonna see that.
Okay,
you're never gonna know. Yep.
All right. So Six, of 9. She
Star Trek keeps coming up for some reason.
I don't know. Maybe that's the reason why everything is spooky. She's a Borg. And then you're traversing these areas, and you see like some bizarre shit. Like at one point, and this is very early in the game, and it's not really spoiling anything major. But at one point, like, I'm walking and my stomach, or the character's stomach, starts rumbling, and I can, and I'm like, oh shit. Do you mean to tell me this game has like a hunger thing, a hunger gameplay element? Like, fuck, because I was already having a little bit of a hard time finding out like how to do stuff. Not that it's hard. Like, honestly, all I needed to do was like go to the settings, look at the controller layout. Okay, gotcha. This is the way you play it. Perfect. Because the game, it's not the type of games that it tells you, press X to jump, or press the left trigger to grab onto something. Like, it doesn't tell you anything like that. You kind of have to figure it out on your own. So when it was presenting me with that, I was like, oh shit, was I supposed to be like eating stuff along the way? Am I supposed to be eating those little, like, duende
the little
things
gnomes.
that are the little gnome things that are like running around. Like, what am I supposed to do here? Like, fuck, I don't think this is for me. But no, it was just like it was just a little thing where someone is on what it looks to be like a school cafeteria of sorts, and he's not touching his foot, and he just kind of like this figure, kind of throws this loaf of bread to you, and you grab it and you start eating it. I'm like, oh shit, I'm fucked. I shouldn't have done that. So I'm probably gonna explode or something's gonna happen. And no, not at all. But again, because the world is so eerie and so
You just don't
weird,
know, yeah.
you just don't know, and that's the fascinating part. I'm almost I'm a little concerned with. Hopefully, this game doesn't have like weird. I mean, it does have weird imagery, but hopefully nothing like too scarring because I have a problem with like really disturbing imagery that then it just sticks in my head, and then and and those are the things where I have to like, okay, let me turn on all the lights so that I can just go grab a glass of water at 3 a.m. because fuck that, I'm not gonna be walking in the dark. Everything's very dark in this game. Also,
Yeah.
you have a lighter, which I'm hoping it doesn't run out. That is not like a temporary, because I've been using it a lot. Um, but yeah, I'm really enjoying this game.
Nice.
This game in the just like Inside was just like not Braid, sorry,
Limbo.
Limbo. Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Just this is that type of just walk to the walk to the right. I don't. It's not a walking simulation simulator because a lot of things happen, and
it's just a platform puzzler.
There you go.
Really
Platform puzzler. Yes, yeah. It's I think it's one of the good ones. And the reason I wanted to play this is because of the other day you beating the second one and talking so highly uh about Little Nightmares 2. I was like, okay, I had to see what this is. The moment you said it was like Inside, I'm like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
I really liked Inside. I loved everything about it. So yeah. Very atmospheric.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. I can appreciate that.
For sure. Yes. It has that, it's got that really scary, like if Tim Burton were to make something more horrific than normal. Normally he does his Tim Burton thing and it's more gothic than anything else, but he took that gothic and added like some real horror elements to it, and then this is essentially what you would have.
Yeah. It's nightmare fuel, Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm very, very early on, so I am looking forward and also very afraid of what I'm gonna find out next. But nice. If Mad Dog survived it, then
I think you'll be okay. I think you'll be okay. I think you'll enjoy it.
All right, that's good. That's all for games. For movies, I mean, come on. I put 4 hours of movie time into one movie. You think I'm gonna watch something else now? It's like, come on, bro. Come on. I was tempted. I was actually tempted to watch, and I asked my wife. My wife would have said, okay. I probably would have watched the Justice is Gray version.
Oh my God. I'm glad I didn't. I was about to, and I was like, no, I really don't want to. No.
I need to know how it looks at the beginning. Like, I don't need to watch the whole thing. I just want to see, like, okay, so it looks like the poster. All right. I've seen enough because I already watched this movie. So yeah. And I guess we'll have more to talk about.
Of course, and then obviously that's really the only thing I've watched, which was Justice League twice for the record.
You put 8 hours on it, man.
Sure did.
What a friggin' fanboy.
We'll go with that. Some say fan, others say glutton for punishment. But so no, I have played a few games. First one I want to get out of the way, which actually I got because I got it on a sale, and I said, well, it's on a sale. Let me just grab it. And it's been on sales many a times. And I remember this game actually outselling Control when Control was released the very first time. And that is the Dark Pictures Man of Medan. Okay.
What?
Believe it or not, that game has outsold Control when Control first came out. And that game came out at the end of the month, which was August of whatever year that was. I think it was 2019. So, so you really think about it, it came out in like the end of August, and a Control came out at the beginning, and this game outsold it. So that kind of lets you know how Control did financially.
Did you just play Russian roulette with your gamer backlog?
Yeah, pretty much. Because I mean, like I said, if you spend, we say it all the time, it's a deal. And you know, if you get it for $5-10 or something like that, it's a deal, but only if you end up playing it. So sometimes you have to go back to your backlog just so you can earn that deal that you paid for.
You know? We gotta pay that price. We gotta pay that price. No, I honestly, I'm joking. I'm saying I honestly don't know anything about the game. I mean, the reviews seem to be semi decent actually on them. You know, 75.
They're okay. They're okay. This is
that looks freaky though.
What is the name of the? Oh my god! I was gonna say Supergiant, but it's not Supergiant. It is Supermassive. This is Supermassive's follow up to Until Dawn. And Until Dawn, I still say, is one of the really best versions of this type of game. This is basically a horror choose a decision, you know, to you know, a horror movie that you get to choose the decisions that the characters make. Okay. And based on your decisions,
make your own adventure horror.
Yeah. Based on your decisions, you either everybody makes it, nobody makes it, or some you know combination of in between. And the one that came out, which was Until Dawn, was really, really well done. And I enjoyed that. And I stress all the time when I see it on sale, and it's literally been on sale for $5, $4.99. And I'm like, guys, if you have not grabbed this, dear Lord, would you grab this, because this is actually a really good one.
You're talking about the
Until Dawn. Until Dawn. Yeah. So Supermassive decided to sort of double up on that and then go with some sort of anthology series, calling it the Dark Anthology. And so far they're up to the third part of it. So this is the first one they released within the anthology. And I got to say, overall, it's actually pretty good. It falters a little bit with some technical hiccups. And some of the facial animation is not as sort of clear or well done as the one that Until Dawn was. But overall, that's not why you're here. You know, it's like when you watch a horror film, you're not watching the horror film for the acting. You're there for the scares. You know, that's the point of it. Yeah. And this actually does pretty well at, freaking you out a little bit. You know what I mean? My only complaint, and this is a complaint I will have of any horror film, is the jump scares. And the jump scares happen, often. And other times they're good scares, but there's a lot of jump scares, and it's backed up by the soundtrack. You know what I mean? By the score, which is even more annoying because the score gets massively loud right when something happens, and it's just something just passed in front of you or something like that, and you don't even know what it is. But of course it wants to keep you on edge. So those type of things are really. I always think that those are cheap scares, but it does have some genuine freaky ass moments. You know what I mean? Because because the way it works, it's not a fixed camera, but it's mobile, but it's still fixed to a certain. So you can't circle the camera around. So it is more fixed than anything else, and it's designed that way on purpose. So the story is that you are, of course, a cast of kids. This might also be the same cast from the movie freaking Cabin in the Woods, because it's basically every stereotype. You got your smart kid, you have your jock, you have your asshole who's rich, you have the girl who is with the jock, you know what I mean? And then, and then you have your cool girl, you know what I mean? And it's just like, wow, talk about just.
Coming in the woods again.
Yeah, basically. So
all right.
Yeah. So you have that. They're out in the water, in a boat, and they're scuba diving and something like that. And they discover something. Somehow, no, I'm not going to go into the details, but they end up on this lost ship that got lost in the 40s. It's like a battleship or carrier of some sort. And of course there's a mystery involved as to what's going on in the carrier. Of course things seem haunted, but because you're going through the hallways of this ship, those hallways can feel very claustrophobic. So that really plays into it, and it feels a lot like this movie I watched that I enjoy. It's actually a horror film too, called Ghost Ship, which has a lot of what I saw here. I was like, oh, this feels like that, which is cool, but also kind of the same. It's like, well, I've kind of seen this already. So I really did enjoy it. I really did enjoy my time with it. But like I said, some of those scares, like a perfect example is, your character's walking, camera's panning, and as he's going to the door, the camera pans a little bit to the right, and then the edge, you can see someone standing there. You're like, and then of course, the moment you realize it, it's now the camera's inside the other room. So then you run out, and you're like, where the hell? There was something there. I know there was something. Shit like that is pretty cool. And when they do that, because that's the I think those are always the scarier things. Because you don't, and I guess you kind of need the jump scares so that those hit well as well. You know what I mean? Because you're always going to expect a jump scare, and then something happens, and you're like, did I just imagine that? You know what I mean? So, but anyway, my point is, it's actually really well done. The acting's okay. It is what it is. One of the characters is the face model is the same one from that game, also from Remedy, believe it or not. What was it? Oh my God, what was it called? Quantum Break?
Oh, Quantum
Break, yeah.
We always can. The one that
Quantum
I keep
Leap.
calling Quantum Leap.
yeah. So yeah, that one. So to say it's the same actor, you can see that's who they did the facial capture for. Okay. So he's the asshole, rich kid. Clearly, he just fits the bill. But anyway, so I easily can give this a 3, out of 5. I beat it, and no one in my party survived, which I'm okay with. So it was like the story was a complete story, and I'm all right with it. But I won't say how or why. It's a little cheap in the sense, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, well, the way things were going, I was like, yeah, I can see that too. So I was like, it is what it is. So none of my characters survived. But anyway, so I will be. You
gotta get over screen, and you're like, well, that's my story.
No. I got credits and everything, and it was like, okay, hey, it is what it is. That's just how that one worked.
So it's not setting up. Oh God, I was real quick. Is it not setting up any backstory, any sequels?
Well, the only thing that's set up is the in between. This is a guy who starts at the very beginning of sort of a British, maybe Irish guy. I don't know. He's kind of like the moderator or narrator who's telling you the tale or letting you figure out the tale. And you always kind of come back to him like every hour or so in the game. The game's not very long. It probably took him like 5 hours, something like that. So, and he's like, so what do you think so far of your choices? Do you think your guys are going to make it? Stuff like that. So I don't know how that's related to everything else. There are other ones. The Little Hope is Little Hope is the next one. The second one in the series, and House of Ashes is the most recent one. I think it's supposed to be 5 total. I'm probably going to capture those also on sale. I can't recommend paying for this full price, but then again, in full price, I think it's only like $20-$30. It wasn't that much, I think, when it first came out. So
30 actually.
Yeah. So I didn't pay that for this, and for what I did pay, I got a lot of enjoyment out of it. So I definitely I like how they do it. I think it's a cool thing. I think there is room in our in this industry for this type of game, and they do it well better than others.
Yeah.
I think David Cage and Quantum, not Quantum. What the fuck is the name of the Jesus.
Not Control, but
no, David Cage. I'm trying to think of the name of their
the first not the first one.
Heavy Rain, the Heavy Rain guys.
Heavy Rain, Jason.
Yeah, hold on, let me get their name up here because I want to give them Quantic Dream. Quantic Dream,
yeah.
The Quantic Dream guys, I think, obviously, have made big strides on this, and I really think that the last one that they did was really good as well.
Detroit.
But this one here is, they're going for that niche, that horror niche. They're obviously making it, inexpensively, so it's easy to get out, which is smart, which is what horror movies do. Horror movies are generally very low budget, and so they don't need to be. But yeah, it was good stuff. The next game that I played, I'm actually still sort of playing, but only because I want to love this game.
I want to make it work.
I want to love this game. So you guys know how I feel about Jesus Christ, roguelites. I don't know what's wrong with me today, man. I'm just getting old. I just can't remember shit at all.
It's all that food, man. Doesn't it?
It could be that. Yeah. Food coma coming on.
Yeah.
You guys know how I feel about roguelites. I overall don't really care for that particular genre. I have played many of them, but only two have really, really moved me to play to get to a really, really. I mean, Hades is one. Hades has probably put in a good 40 to 50 hours in. I just love that freaking game.
Yeah.
And the other one was Dead Cells, which I also put a large amount of hours in. It's just so much fun, so fast paced, extremely enjoyable. And so because of those, I've opened myself up to say, okay, let me try some other ones. And I've had my eye on this one, and this one I only held off because it's a roguelike, and so it's called Star Renegades. And
Star Renegade. Okay, yeah, you told me about it, but not on the podcast. So please go on.
So Star Renegades is what it is first off, it is a roguelike, but it's also an RPG. It's turn-based, not specifically an RPG. It's a turn-based roguelike. And so it plays out very similar to any of the old Japanese turn-based games where you have your crew on one side, you have the enemies on the other, and you're just kind of fighting back and forth using attack, magic, or whatever the hell you want to use. This is in some futuristic world where there is a race of machines coming in to destroy the world for whatever reason, because they just want to fucking destroy. Who knows? But the point is that
that's all machines do.
As machines do, exactly. We all know we're going to lose to them anyway. But
hopefully,
so this robot's coming from another dimension to warn the people here, and your crew gets together, and now you're out to fight them, right? And you fight in turn-based way. There is no potions. You can find certain things in your map area to either bring up your shields or bring up your health. Or time does pass, so you end up camping out throughout the night, and during that you can trade cards. There's a card system that you can give to somebody and they can heal them up and all this stuff. So that's how you get your health back. Otherwise you're not getting it back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you have to, so this already alludes to there's going to be grind, because you're most likely going to die often early on. Yeah. Because you haven't got enough power to last you long enough into the battles. Mm-hmm. And so that was already a turnoff. So I was just like, you can smell the grind coming, you know, it's like, oh man, but I love the art style. It is this beautiful pixel art with really dynamic like lighting effects that they do in it. And if you haven't seen it, you really should check it out. Just the video of it, you can kind of see how the weird lighting, not the weird light, but the way the lighting just works in this 2D space. And it's just a gorgeous looking game. It is fun. The actual battles are enjoyable. The way it works, since it's turn-based, at the top, there's like this grid, and it kind of grids out, you know, who's going to move next, right? Uh-huh. And if you use strategy, you basically, if you hit them, it will knock them back along the grid to basically delay their hit. And if you knock them off the grid, now they've broken from that particular round and they have no move that round. And that's essentially that's the hook of the game, is to do it as much as possible, because you have to, because you want to do everything you can to not let them hit you, because you need to survive and survive and survive.
So at all points, you can see, you have awareness of, okay, I need to know what move to make with this character, because I can see that the next character is going to be maybe the enemy or maybe another character of mine.
Correct.
You have an order. You can see the order.
You can see the order, and you can plan it out based on that as well. Like you have the light cleave attack, or the light standard attack. That, okay, if you use that one, you'll see on the timeline you will hit before they hit you. But if you try to go with a heavy cleave attack, it will move it past their point, so they're going to hit you before you hit them. And yes, they can also delay your hits. So obviously you want to avoid that. You know what I mean? And you have different magic attacks, and you have different abilities and stuff like that. And as you traverse the areas, you can find new weapons, very similar to, again, like Dead Cells and Hades, where you'll get a new weapon, and that's the weapon you use in that particular run. And hopefully that weapon can take you long enough. Some weapons are better. And then the enemies have armor, shield, and health. So those are other things you need to consider. It's very intricate. That's why I like it. You know what I mean? But it's just I've gotten to the third area boss. I got to him probably early on. Since then, I've got there once, and I have not gotten back there since. And I'm just doing a lot of the same thing. Yeah. So it looks like there's a difficulty thing that's ramping up a little bit in the background, and I'm just like, why is this becoming more and more difficult? And I'm noticing some of the enemies that were in the later portion are now available a little earlier, and I'm like, I don't know if this is by design or it's just the game hates me. I don't know, you know. but
so do you progress? You mentioned that you die a lot on
yeah. So what happens, the way it tells the story of how you're doing that is, this is the timeline that let's say you start in the first game. This is the current timeline. And if you fail, the team fails, the world dies, that robot that came to warn you about it now jumps to the next timeline and warns the new version of you, or
an alternate universe.
An alternate universe. And says, hey, they're jumping timelines and they're going to come here. So you need to whatever. And so that explains the layout of the.
So that's cool, because it has a recent mechanic of why
why you're repeating. Yes.
But do you feel like even when you die, are you progressing, or if let's say if you don't make it to the next checkpoint on a very good run, do you lose your progress, or is it punishing like that?
It's punishing in the sense that if you don't make it far enough, so it's almost like you're earning experience after every run, right?
Okay.
And you know how in every RPG, when you earn experience, the next level to earn experience is further away. So if it takes you 100 points to get to level from 1 to level 2, it's going to take you 200 points to get from level 2 to level 3. So those lines are moving further, and I seem to be dying earlier or more often. And so the amount of experience that I carry into the next timeline feels like less. And every time I look at my like, I'm at level 7 now. So obviously to get to level 8, it's going to be double or more of what it was to get from level 6 to 7. So I'm not carrying that much over. And that's where I'm like, oh, this is becoming a grind.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Could it be that you're just terrible at gaming?
I mean, that is possible. And I mean, I've toyed with the idea that it's possible. I'm just
it's possible that you're just losing your edge. And
I beat Dark Souls, and then suddenly that's it. That was like my at that point it was a plateau, and now I can't even hold on to I can't even beat a level of Pac-Man. So I have no idea.
Oh shit! I'm afraid that we had some bad news. It's worse than we thought. He can't even beat a game of Pac-Man. Not even a stage.
Not even the first stage, which is the slowest of all the stages. It's like, oh my god, it's so slow. The first area of Mrs. Pac-Man is the one that coming to mind for the record. It's so slow that after you play the game for a while, when you always go back to the beginning, you're like, damn, this level is slow. It's so fucking.
Like, you can't start this, not like this. Yeah,
it's like Jesus. Feels like you definitely dropped a few levels there. So I still have it. If anything that I said sounds cool to you, then hey, then have at it. But for me personally,
sounds like a roguelike.
It is a true RPG version of a roguelike, or Japanese RPG version of a JRPG.
No, it does sound interesting. It does sound because, like you said, the art style with the pixel art mixed with.
Oh, it's such a beautiful pixel art.
Not so punishing RPG-ness or roguelite-ness. even though you are getting your ass handed to you now in the later stages. But you're gonna persevere because you're Mad Dog and you always beat games. If there's one thing that I've learned is that you beat games unless you don't specifically yourself want to. Like you choose. I choose not to finish you, so I'm gonna have mercy on you, Wolfenstein. I choose not to beat you, but I've gotten you to the ground. But I'm not gonna do the last.
I'm not gonna put you out of your misery.
No,
you will remember this day.
You will remember this day. You have to live with the fact that I could have beat you, but I let you go. That's something that I have known about Mad Dog is that he beats game. He doesn't play just to play. No, he plays for credits. And when I mean credits, I mean like watching the credits.
Yeah.
Unless you choose not to.
For sure, yeah. I do have that, and it's funny because I it's one of those things where once I do, in my head, it's done. Like I beat Dark Souls the first time. I only beat it once. I beat Dark Souls the one time, and I went through it. I loved it. I enjoyed it, and then I think it was either Chaos or Dark, and they were like, "Well, now wait till you get to New Game Plus," and I'm like, "New Game Plus?" I was like, "I'm not going back through that shit. It's over. Credits have rolled. All right, I praised the sun, and the sun for me. It is what it is. I'm out of here." You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway,
hey, all of them people dying in the final mission. That's my story.
That's my story. Yeah,
if I saw credit, it's the end.
Exactly. Yeah, a perfect example. This one here, I was like, man, I could redo that. Nope, they're all dead. Fuck it.
No, that. Well,
it is what it is. The last game I played, I just got very recently, and it's actually been on my watch list for a little bit. It is called Bladed Fury. And this one here is a very pretty game. I can definitely recommend it. It looks and reminds me a little bit of Odin Sphere. Not as beautiful as Odin Sphere, for the record. Vanillaware are masters when it comes to that, so I'm not definitely saying that. But if you look at the fighting, what it is, basically, it's a 2D fighter, a 2D action slasher, I guess you can say. And it's completely in Chinese. This is one of the few Chinese developed games, and actually is published by Tencent, believe it or not. And it's actually pretty cool. I enjoy it. It's very weird in the sense that it's using I assume it's using a lot of Chinese either philosophy or mysticism or something I just don't know about, because so much things are happening that are just odd. I'm going, I don't know. It's in it, it has English subtitles. You can actually see what's going on. But as you're fighting, you're visited by these spirits that are just heads, and you're like, is this a thing? Is this some sort of, I feel like I need to learn more about the culture. I feel like I'm missing out understanding some of the stuff. But basically, you play as G, and she is the youngest daughter of the I don't know if it's the king or the emperor or something like that. And the emperor, something happened to him where it looked like he wasn't himself, but it turns out you end up fighting this spirit in his room. And when you destroy the spirit becomes just your dad. And now it looks like you killed your dad. And so now you're on the run because, they're blaming you for the murder of your own father. And you left your sister who's left betrothed to this other guy who none of them seem to trust. It is, in a word, odd. but it's also
really cool.
It's also very pretty. The way the art style that it has, and the action is slasher. You have two weapons. One's like a short sword, so you have really quick movement. And you have this heavier blade that's more of just a heavy blade, essentially. You got your double jumps, you have your dash, you have all those moves that you normally have in these type of games, and it's a lot of I'm enjoying it. I'm actually kind of looking forward to going back to this one to finish it off, because it is it's very enjoyable. You as you're progressing, you're earning, you're picking up I don't know, orbs or whatever it is, whatever the currency is, and then you have ways of purchasing upgrades and new moves and stuff like that. And, you know, your typical fare when it comes to this. This is not RPG like. It's definitely more action like. And so it's just, I don't know. It's just so different. I think that's what really has me intrigued. I love weird shit, you know, and for anybody who's from Chinese, I'm not saying that this is weird shit because it's Chinese. I'm just saying that I love different.
Nobody took it like that until you.
Okay, I just feel like I need to clear it up. I mean, but I'm not saying it was. I love different. I love learning new things. First off, I love trying new things, and I don't think I've played a game that looks and feels like this one, because it's just, it comes, you know, like the first time we were playing The Witcher, or what's the other one? Metro, right? You were telling me you were early on, especially with Metro, because I had never played it. You were like, it's a first person shooter, but it's very different. It wears the where it comes from's on his shoulder. You know what I mean? Yes. It's just, you can tell and feel this is not your typical RPG. They're not your typical first person shooter. And with The Witcher, it's not your typical RPG. It feels very European in that sense.
Yeah.
And so because of that, this is exactly the same thing. This is an action game that takes place in China, has an original Chinese story from a Chinese developer, and it wears it on its shoulder, and I dig it. Cool. But anyway, that, ladies and gentlemen, is all I've been doing. And guys, we are back, and it is now time for our trailer of the week.
Of the trailer of the week. Of the trailer of the week. Of the trailer of the week. Of the trailer of the week. Of the trailer of the week. Of the trailer of the week. Choo choo. You know what that is? That is the hype train, son.
Nice.
That is the hype train.
Nice.
For this movie.
Yeah, too bad it's about this movie.
We just spoil our reaction. You know, we're going to go all upon a reaction about this particular trailer that we saw, you know, and how excited we got. Not.
I was going to say, now who's overselling this? I don't know. Yeah. So, guys, our trailer of the week is the sequel to The Suicide Squad, aptly named The Suicide Squad. So, just in case, you know.
No.
You get
James Gunn's The Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait. That's not what it's called.
No. I mean, it should be so that, you know, we can differentiate one piece of shit from the other. But, sir, I mean, I'm just going to throw it out here. It doesn't look
great
at all. I mean,
good at all. No, it's not. It looks like a really dumb movie, and dumb not in the, you know, James Gunn Guardians of the Galaxy. No, it looks dumb as in James Gunn Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Bad. That's the type of stupid bullshit that this movie seems to be, you know, going for, and I'm not having it. I'm not having it, sir. I'm
desperately like saddened by the fact that Academy Award winner, I wouldn't say, is
John Cena. Yeah. Academy Award winner John Cena?
No, ain't no damn Academy Award winner. He may be a Razzie Award winner, but ain't no damn Academy Award winner. No. I was gonna say, I believe she won Academy. If not, she's been nominated for sure. Viola Davis, who plays Amanda Waller. You know, I would have thought that she would have said after the first one, I'm good, guys. I'm going to continue without this. But no, she signed on and she brought others. Idris Elba, is joining the mix. He was not in the first one, for the record. John Cena is joining the mix, and we all know that John Cena.
John Cena.
Dwayne Johnson, he is not. Just saying. Well, I'm sorry.
Wow, that hurt. That was just pure hate.
It's
pure unadulterated hate, and I'm not having it, sir.
Okay. King Shark is actually in this, and he's actually voiced by Sylvester Stallone, because again, nothing else going on.
Okay. Yeah. There's no more geriatric Rambos anymore. So
yeah, here's the sad part is, I think Hollywood or these creators or whoever, I don't think they've really understood what the Suicide Squad was. Okay.
You mean the original material, the source
material? Yeah, this original source material. And I get it, artistic freedom and expression and whatever. I get that.
Express yourself.
But not every character was a Harley Quinn character in the Suicide Squad. You know what I'm saying?
God, yes,
you had actual murderers, thieves. You have people who were bad and forced to become this squad. Otherwise, they end up dying. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so it was always a suicide mission. It was always written. And yes, to be fair,
wait, is this another suicide mission also, I guess?
Oh, they all are. That's the whole point.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they only get used for this particular use. And you heard Amanda Waller in the thing. He said, if you're successful in the mission and you survive, you get 10 years knocked off of your sentence. Mm-hmm. If you don't, well, you're not going to survive anyway. If you try to run, you're still not going to survive because they're going to just blow you up. So that's the essence of the story. And what it did, it was a cool little spot for all those criminals and villains from the DC who were lower tier villains, you know what I mean? For them to shine for a moment in their own story, and because now they were part of this group, and so the group was always interchanging. You know what I mean? And you had your regulars because they survived. That was the whole deal. If you survived, then you moved on to the next book series. You know what I mean? And so that, I think, is what's missing. Harley Quinn. All right, so yeah, she was part of it here and there, but she was her own wacky Harley Quinn self, but she is also a murderous and also extremely smart. You know what I mean? And not that this character isn't playing that. I haven't seen the movie, but I didn't enjoy Birds of Prey. I certainly didn't enjoy Suicide Squad, the first one. Mm-hmm. And this is not giving me any hopes for this one. So yeah. I've got nothing else to say about this damn thing. Moving on.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. If anybody was expecting, better reaction out of it, or the fact that, oh my God, they brought James Gunn, it's gonna be directing or producing or whatever the hell is his role in it, and it's gonna be fun. It's like, no. I mean, we don't know. We don't know. What I'm saying is, nothing here made me hope or think that there was, any hope of that this was going to be something, different or cool or anything like that. And on top of that, we already know that DC has a record, and I don't know, I also really did not like Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I thought it was an obnoxious movie. So I'm not excited. I can't. Yeah.
Me too. I agree 100%. And for the record, we made it the trailer week because it is the hot trailer that came out this week, and that's why I wanted to showcase it. One, because there obviously may be people who are interested in it, and two, I wanted to talk about it because it's a hot commodity. I wanted to talk about
our goddamn show also, so we know what we want. Yeah.
Why are you questioning us? You shouldn't be questioning us.
Exactly. If you don't like it, just skip ahead. Don't abandon us.
Jeez.
We got some good stuff.
I tell you. Yeah, please. Stick around. Moving on, guys, to the Mouthful's Games Radar.
I'm having trouble with the radar, sir.
What's wrong with it?
I've lost the bleeps, I've lost the sweeps, and I've lost the creeps.
The what? The what? And the what?
You know, the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps.
I just wanted to showcase a game. One, actually, Bladed Fury actually did come out this week. So that's one, but that's not the one I wanted to showcase here. Monster Hunter Rise.
Monster Hunter
Been
Rise.
getting like some really, really good reviews. It is unfortunately the Monster Hunter that's walled off behind Nintendo's console Switch. But I think most of us that I think we know own a Switch. So if you're interested, it is out. I've been checking out the reviews. I'm kind of on the fence for it, but it does look actually very good for being on the Switch. And so so Monster Hunter Rise. I just kind of wanted to give it a shout out because it came out literally today. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And to be fair, he does. I mean, if you're a fan of Monster Hunter and you have a Switch, I don't think you're gonna have any problem with this release. It has been reviewing very well. It seems like they have done actually, some changes to make the fights a little bit more dynamic. And we know that you were enjoying the fights already, but if you can make it a little bit faster, for example, especially when you got knocked down, that you have all that, downtime while you're standing up and getting ready. And no, this one lets you like just sift through and with a new what's it called? They're calling it the wire bug.
Oh yeah. It's like
kind of like
a what do you call it? Grapple hook almost.
Like a grapple hook sort of thing. Yeah, exactly. So it does look interesting in that respect. I don't expect it on on PlayStation 5 or Xbox.
No.
I don't think this is the game that comes to that. I think this
I think this one's gonna stay on Switch.
Yeah. I mean, who knows, right? Because they announced a PC version, but it's not coming to next year. But even if they announce the the PlayStation 4, it's or the PlayStation 4, let's say 4 and 5. They had to tone back a little bit on some of the animation and special things that you saw on Monster Hunter World, to where I don't know if it'll feel if it'll feel worth of having that conversion. I'm sure a lot of people would like to play it, but I think we're better off waiting for like a Monster Hunter World 2, maybe.
I am really like considering it. I was doing such a dive into it. It has, out of 69 reviews, it sits at an 87 Metacritic score, which is really, really good. They've did some quality of life fixes such as the wire bug, and also you don't have to wait for cutscenes for somebody if you're playing multiplayer.
Oh, so they fixed it. Okay, that's it. They officially fixed it. Awesome, bravo.
So one can assume that the next Monster Hunter World will not have this ridiculous.
I know, right?
So, but yeah, I am really, really trying to keep myself from spurging on it. Essentially.
Yeah.
So anybody interested, I just wanted to shout that out and of course get that in our Mouthful's Games radar. So now let's jump into our useless news, and I am going to start with a little title called Ghost of Tsushima. Sony Pictures is developing a movie adaptation of Ghost of Tsushima. Sucker Punch Productions 2020 samurai action adventure game Deadline reported this past Thursday. John Wick film series director Chad Stahelski, is reportedly attached to the project sometime after the filming of John Wick 4. Ghost of Tsushima is the latest project for PlayStation Productions. The division was formed in 2019 to oversee the film and TV projects based on PlayStation franchises. So far, those include a major motion picture based on Naughty Dog's Uncharted series, a TV series for HBO for The Last of Us, and the adaptation of the car combat franchise Twisted Metal. In case you missed that, I don't think you.
I remember that. Yes, I didn't believe it. Nowadays it feels like a lot of movie titles, game IPs are are being announced as, oh, we're gonna make a movie or a series, and then you don't hear about, yeah, you don't see them happening. The exceptions being, of course, The Last of Us. We've seen things happening. Last um, uh,
That's us.
Uncharted.
Oh, oh,
Is another one. No, Last of Us. Yeah, Last of Us is the one from HBO. HBO picked up Uncharted also happening. You know, with Spider Kid. What is his name?
yes, yes.
Young,
Young
young,
Spider-Man.
yes, young Nathan Drake.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
but others like that Twisted Metal that I heard, like I heard about that, but like
Yeah,
nothing has been
I think
announced.
that was more of just a press release. I don't even think they have anybody attached to it just yet, but who
Yeah.
knows? As part of Sucker Punch's announcement of the film for Ghost of Tsushima, studio also revealed new sales figures and more for the game. In a blog post, game director Nate Fox revealed the PlayStation 4 exclusive also plays also plays in PlayStation 5 through backwards compatibility, has sold 6.5 million copies. Ghost of Tsushima being a success story for sales is no surprise, as the game eclipsed all other Sony first party games to become the fastest selling new IP on PlayStation 4. These are huge numbers. Ghost of Tsushima is a bona fide hit, but perhaps the most notable in the announcement is that Fox said roughly half of the people who bought Ghost of Tsushima, Jesus, I can't even say it now, or about 3.25 million people, finished the game. So yeah,
I feel like this is
I
I
think
feel like this is a frontal attack,
no.
from
I was just pointing out
not from
that
you, but
roughly
from Sony itself. Like, what the fuck are you waiting for, David? Why do you want to attack? Well, I'm sorry, Sony, that your game is so boring that I can't put myself. No, I'm kidding. It's not. It's a good game. It is a good game. I still
no,
maintain that it's a great game.
I bring it up simply to say that the stats are exactly right. Right now, 50% of the hosts of this podcast right now have beat this game. I mean, that's those numbers don't lie.
Don't lie, exactly. And perhaps it should be kept that way. So I'm saying.
Some say it will be, but we'll see, I guess.
Perhaps. Hold on. Let me go ahead and bring balance to the force here again, as I usually have to do. Microsoft could reportedly acquire Discord by next month.
Ooh,
What? Microsoft likes to flex its money hat muscles. Microsoft is reportedly in exclusive. Oh, I see what you did here, IGN. Exclusive talks to acquire Discord, and the deal could be completed as soon as next month. A report from the Wall Street Journal, citing, quote, people familiar with the matter, end quote, has backed up a Bloomberg report from earlier this week, which said that Microsoft was in talks to purchase Discord for $10 billion
oh god,
or more. Oh my god! And that Xbox boss Phil Spencer was part of the discussions. Uh, there's a quote here that says Microsoft and Discord are in exclusive talks and could complete a deal next month, assuming the negotiations don't fall apart. The article says. It also points out that the acquisition is apparently tied to Microsoft hoping to reach more consumers across both gaming and social networking. A similar drive saw Microsoft pursue an abandoned acquisition of TikTok last year. Oh yeah, remember when that was happening? If you're unfamiliar, Discord is a messaging platform used by online communities to congregate, chat, and play games together. It has been around since 2015 and oh wow, that young. Wow, I thought it had been forever. Uh, and has grown its user base considerably in recent years, leading to making 130 million in revenue in 2020 and a 7 billion valuation. The Wall Street Journal reports points out that Discord recently hired its first finance chief, uh, finance chief, and also been considering an initial public offering. So okay, so maybe an IPO. Anyway, this is not CNBC. Discord previously partnered with Xbox Games Pass to provide its members with special perks such as access to Discord Nitro, its premium service. If the deal goes through, it will be another high-profile acquisition for Microsoft, who recently picked up ZeniMax Media for $7.5 billion. Putting when you talk about numbers like that, it just your mouth does that automatically. You
Yeah.
can't. I can't help myself.
Can't help but mimic. Yeah.
No, exactly, exactly. You enunciate. No, pulling development studios such as Arcane, Bethesda, and id Software under its wing in the process. So Discord, huh?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I,
I mean,
I don't know.
what the fuck? I mean, I thought we hear Sony acquiring Evo, for example, and it's like, okay, what the fuck does these acquisitions have anything to do with anything? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not seeing the logic here. Obviously, Discord, a huge your customer base. I'm just thinking that people that know about Discord, they know about Xbox already. So I don't
Mhm.
think they're doing this to attract, to this platform. If anything, it's more like, hey, these people make money. We kind of need, to make money also, and you got to spend money to make money, and they're making money. So let's just go ahead and grab them also, and sure, then we can say that we own Discord. But again, like I see that portion. I just don't see what the benefit will be to the brand, unless it's just strictly about money. Which, let's face it, at the end of the day, that's all it
That's
is
yeah.
about.
I was gonna say yeah.
But
In
then,
the end,
but then it seems like a risky move because all that needs to happen is that people will be like, oh, now the next thing, right? It's like, oh well,
I mean, the reality is, well, first of all, Discord is very it's huge on
it's huge
PC.
among gamers. Yes,
So the reality is, by owning it, anytime you think of communications via a game on PC, you are when you say Discord, you are saying Microsoft, and that's what Microsoft wants. It's the same exact thing.
true.
It's the same exact thing when you think of any type of PC that is not a Mac. It's like, yep, you want it, you can get it. You're getting a bunch of
Absolutely.
Microsoft stuff with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You are buying Microsoft whether you want to or not. Whether you know or not. And that's what they want. That's what Discord is. That's what Game Pass is. I think at some point Game Pass is going to probably start coming to fucking TVs. Just be an app on the TV,
Yeah.
and you suddenly be able to just use it there. Will it ever come to a competitor console? That's something we discussed before. I don't know. I don't think so. Painted into a corner, Nintendo and Sony, who knows, may say, fuck it, bring it over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's even if Microsoft wants to, because at that point, Microsoft says, well, fuck you guys. We don't need you anyway. You know what I mean? So the reality is that's what they want. They want to be the Disney of gaming. And this is how you do that. And it's essentially, it works. That doesn't eliminate the other what do you call it? The other competitors, stuff like that, because like I said, even Disney has its competitors now, and they're not going anywhere.
True.
But you cannot ignore the fact that whenever you think of anything on ABC, whenever you think of ESPN, whenever you think of Hulu, whenever you think of all these things, Fox, you know what I mean? Like it or not, whether you know it or not, you're thinking of Disney, and that's what Microsoft wants. And how you accomplish that? By doing this, yeah. You know what I mean? So
yeah. It just off the top, it just seems weird, when you
it
take it at
is.
face value. It's like, I mean, not weird in the sense of, I mean, they're not acquiring like a, yeah, Goya, or a toothpaste. It's not like
Yeah,
they make a completely irrelevant acquisition. Obviously,
yeah. No, I
that's
got
probably
you.
something that is very entrenched in gaming. So I'm not saying weird in that sense. It's just, when they started announcing like, oh, Microsoft is not done with making major acquisitions. Uh,
You didn't think it was this?
I don't think it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be like another. I thought it was gonna be like another game studio. Maybe I don't know.
Well, to be fair,
Sega. You know what? Get Sega. Get Sega. What is Sega doing right now?
I want to make sure. I want to make sure you understand that Discord isn't just that. They have their own game store. I don't know if anybody purchases from that, but every time Discord comes up, you can actually go in and purchase games right from Discord's.
Did they close that though? I thought they closed that.
Oh no, I thought I opened it the other day and I saw it there. Well, I haven't heard, but yeah. So yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, although I'll be the first to say I don't think they can afford Goya for the record, but just saying.
That's okay. That brand has anyway.
It's been tainted by the red.
Well, I said nothing. Nothing was said.
That's okay. I'm saying it. Fuck that. Anyway, although I say that all I want, and frankly, I have plenty of Goya products. Well, product for projects. Plenty of Goya products in my cupboard, and do not intend on replacing any of them.
I really hope that Microsoft acquires Goya, because that'll be
great. Because you know what, we can say, "Hey, you heard it here first." That would be great. That would be amazing. All right. My next piece, guys, going to the other side of the fence. Good news for Microsoft, not good news for PlayStation. So, a report published Monday said that the PlayStation Store. Now, I want to start off by saying this is a rumor from sources that we don't know, from a place we don't know, and Sony has not commented on it. However, for some reason, it's been making its rounds, and I just wanted to talk about it. A report published Monday said the PlayStation Store for Sony's PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita, and PlayStation P portable will close for good in July and August, making digital copies of those games for those platforms, games for that platform, unavailable for purchase from then on. The Gamer, citing unnamed sources familiar with the matter, said that PS3 and PSP stores will close July 2nd, and then the PlayStation Vita storefront will close on August 27th. Polygon reached out. Obviously, I'm reading this from Polygon. Reached out to Sony representative for additional information. No reply, of course, at this publication. On another note, very recently today, more bad news. I'm reading this from IGN. It seems that if your PlayStation 3 is unable to connect to Sony servers, or that if the battery powering the internal clock is dead, something known as the CMOS battery, CMOS, or has a low charge, you will not be able to access any of your digital PS3 games.
No.
This includes PlayStation 1 classics as well as PlayStation 3 digital downloads. At best, some digital purchases may revert to trials, which was a little used feature that allowed you to play the game for up to an hour and save your progress and trophy over once you purchase it. This was brought to light by YouTuber Hikiko Mori Media, who also provided proof via a tweet that he tweeted. They tweeted, excuse me. Also, it's relatively easy to replace the CMOS when Sony decides to take down the PlayStation 3 servers, reactivating your PlayStation 3 to play games still poses a massive challenge. PlayStation 4 owners have it worse. If Sony decides to take down its servers, you also lose access to your physical game library. According to trusted hacker Lance McDonald, I want to repeat that again. According to trusted hacker Lance McDonald, not that he's not trusted, but grain of salt. This is because trophies on PlayStation 4 need the console's internal clock to work correctly, so as to prevent users to change date and times values to exploit the PlayStation 4 trophy system. His tweet regarding this in response to Does It Play, an account dedicated to video game preservation. The account stated that when the PlayStation 4 CMOS battery dies, and it will, it renders all PlayStation 4 digital files unusable without a server connection, and the PlayStation 4 also kills disk playback. Oof. So that's a lot of information there regarding Sony's older library that, like it or not, we know they don't really care for.
This actually speaks more about digital media in general. You know, the fact that it is, it's you don't own any of this, and at any time you could lose access to it. And people have come back and say, well, I'm not worried about about PS4 because I already have a PS5 and I can play those games. I surely will be able to play those games. And yeah, I honestly believe that. Like, I don't see the connection with the PS4 servers not allowing you to play your PS4 games on your PS5. I mean, that would be ridiculous. That'd be a loss of backward compatibility, right? So that's not what they're saying. But the reality is that not everybody has the PS5, a PS5 yet, and even by the time that this, actually supposedly happens, that still be the reality. Not everybody would own or want to maybe make the jump. And what this brings to the forefront is the concern again of
the timeline. You're on a timeline.
And
you don't know how long it is. Yeah, and
at some point, at some point you will lose access. Of the game. The servers are. If the server goes out on physical games, on games that you buy. Yeah. Now, I'm pretty sure that they will find a way to hackers will find a way to bypass this, but it shouldn't be up to them to preserve those games. I think I think the companies in general, and we're talking about Sony here specifically, but I'm just going to say in general, they should be responsible for also for the preservation of these titles. I mean, if you no longer, I will imagine that. Oh, I don't know. I'm not an engineer, but come on. I bought the physical version because I didn't like the idea of not having access to it if the store went out, and now you're telling me that even that is invalid. Like,
that was something I knew. This is funny because when you think about it, when you go back to the PlayStation 4's reveal, that wonderful year when Microsoft got fucking hammered for all this ridiculous DRM thing that they were going to do, and TV, and all this other bullshit. Mm-hmm, and Sony looked like was the 100% 180. They were the console for gamers, and they didn't care. Get your used games, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, here you go with it. Again, this has not been confirmed. These are, the information is coming from, reliable, but still other sources. And, but here we are, one pull of that plug on a server, and that disc that they said is yours forever. Yeah, well, technically you have the disc. That doesn't mean you can use it for anything on your PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
So it's interesting and also kind of eye-opening to say, it was really, or it appears that it was really more a visual of them being for the gamers, but they were pretty much on the same camp as where Microsoft was.
Yeah, it was always, it was always there. Yeah. It was always there. It's terrible. I mean,
and then as for the PlayStation 3 and Vita and PlayStation P live game stores, I can understand that, to an extent, you know what I'm saying? Like
those stores, yes,
the stores,
respectively.
The game should still be available,
right?
Yeah. I would hope. No, I was going to say the games, I believe, would still be. There's no mention of that. It's just that you will not be able to buy anything new for the PlayStation Portable or I can't believe the PlayStation Portable is even still buying stuff, but PlayStation Portable, the Vita, or the PlayStation 3. So, I mean, the only problem there, of course, lies again that now those games are out of reach. They're now again walled off behind something no one can access. And like you said, whose responsibility is it to maintain and keep these games vibrant or at least available
Yeah.
For anybody who wants to play it? You know what I mean? Because you can't do it on PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5. You can't
Yeah.
play. Sure, you have the PlayStation Now, but that doesn't have every game in PlayStation 3.
No.
And in the ones it does, you still have to stream because they have no way of downloading it.
Right.
So, and then of course every other library before that is even more limited. So it just feels like more and more it's just getting lost. You know what I
It
mean? Or
is.
appears like it's getting lost.
It is unfortunately the dangers of the digital world. And I mean, say what you will, like I say, one of the benefits that I have quote unquote touted about PC gaming is like I have games here from the 360 era that I
Mhm.
can just go ahead and play if I wanted to play. Yes, that's that, and that's because it's in Steam. And yeah, sure, Steam is going strong and whatever, but it's not infallible. I mean, that doesn't mean that at
Yeah.
some point, at any point, something like you never know, right?
Mhm.
You never know, and I guess I think in because the way I see it more and more is that with games being released in unfinished status and always needing day one patches and also like that, like it doesn't feel like we get the complete experience of games anymore. So it is unless someone finds a way to hack everything and all the patches into like something that you can just download and play as an executable or something like that on a jailbroken PS3 or whatever. uh Even the newer games that you buy on disc are gonna be lost,
Yeah.
because who wants to play an unpatched version of name of the game here, whatever game it is, nowadays, right?
Bayonetta on PlayStation 3. Who wants to play that
Bayonetta,
shit?
how wants to play that exactly? Exactly.
Skyrim.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Although to be fair, they never patched that, so what are you gonna
Well,
do?
they did something. It just didn't fix everything.
I mean, look at Nier Automata on PC on Steam. I mean, for
Yeah.
crying out loud, you get borderline unplayable. That shit is
That's
surprising
all
that
I
it
hear.
showed to the title screen.
I'm surprised people bother even rating it.
It's garbage. It's garbage.
Fair enough.
Speaking of the digital media, um, well, maybe not 100% digital media. Nintendo says hi. No, report new Nintendo Switch model to be upgraded to the Nvidia. Fuck. Let me read that again. I messed that up completely. Report new Nintendo Switch model to use upgraded Nvidia chip with DLSS. I want to tell you why that is a freaking huge thing. By the way, remind me, my dog. The next iteration of Nintendo Switch hardware will include an upgraded Nvidia chip uh, and support the chipmaker's deep learning super sampling DLSS technology. Bloomberg reported Tuesday. That feature will allow upgraded Nintendo Switch to output 4K visuals when docked and plugged into a TV, the report says. The new Switch, which has not been officially announced by Nintendo, will reportedly include a 7-inch OLED screen with a 720p resolution and could cost upwards of $399.99, analysts told Bloomberg. The current version of the Nintendo Switch sells for its original launch price of $299.99, while the Switch Lite sells for $199.99. In addition of DLSS, would be the addition, sorry, of DLSS will be a boon for new games and developers. NVIDIA's technology uses AI to accelerate graphics rendering through image reconstruction, maintaining high image quality while delivering improved frame rates. Put it simply, it allows a video card to render a game at a lower internal resolution, reducing the load on the GPU,
Mm.
as it uses NVIDIA's AI algorithms to generate a reconstructed image that looks as good, or in some cases better than, the game render at native resolution. Previously, developers had to work directly with NVIDIA to support DLSS in their games, leading to a limited support of the feature. But recently, changes to the Epic Games wildly used Unreal Engine added support for the technology as a plugin for the game for the game development toolkit. Nintendo Nintendo's new Switch revision will reportedly be released later this year, just in time for the holidays. So, um, this is massive, bro. Let me tell you something about DLSS. One of the technology. Well, everybody was, touting the benefits of like ray tracing and how amazing games will look with ray tracing and this and that, and on the new video cards that were released. Actually, they've been talking about this on since the previous RTS cards. I'm talking about the GeForce cards on PC. But then also applying it for consoles coming in with video cards with this technology, um ray tracing, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
One of the technologies that didn't get talked about a lot, at least not in main media, was DLSS. And I will argue that that is one of the most important technologies because he's achieved some like wizardry levels of awesomeness in this iteration. The first iteration, it was kind of crappy. It didn't work very well. It kind of made games that were using it whenever you activated the feature looked like a kind of like a little bit of a blurry mess because what it's doing, what the game does is it uses data. This data is um, crunch, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
at Nvidia's big AI computers, right? And they use video game footage and analysis of the engines and da 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 da, like all that, analyzing how an image should look like, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what that allows is that then that data gets pushed to the game or encoded in the game. Like, I don't know exactly. I don't think it's streamed in real time. I don't think it works like you disconnect the internet and now your DLSS goes away. It's not like that. But it gets encoded in the game in a way where you could actually the game could be rendering like the article mentioned at a lower resolution, at a lower internal resolution, so that obviously the lower the resolution, the easier it is for the GPU to actually render the images, and that's how you get images that run at 60 frames per second, but the resolution has to be small for that to happen, right? Because the
Mm-hmm.
bigger the resolution, the more pixels the GPU has to push, right? And,
Mm-hmm.
and the harder it gets to work. Well, it's almost like wizardry in the sense that that image, that low resolution image, can then be made look like a high resolution image, 4K and all, while it's still maintaining the performance as if it was a low resolution image. And this new iteration, which is only has been iteration 2 of this technology, uh, has made some incredible things. I mean, it's one of the things that have actually made ray tracing happen in a sense, because ray tracing is incredibly
Taxing.
complex,
Mm-hmm.
for GPUs to handle. That's why they have to be handled by specifically by some like high end chips. So the problem here is that DLSS is not a technology that can be implemented on PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X, or Series whatever. It just can't. The reason is that DLSS is an NVIDIA technology. It's using NVIDIA artificial intelligence to be able to crunch all that data. So it is basically an exclusive technology. AMD, which is the company that produces the chips that go into the PS5 and the Xbox, and some PC graphics, is working on a technology that they claim that could achieve something approximating similar to it, but not in the same vein and not with the same with the same results. But I mean, they're looking at that. They're obviously looking at that.
Yeah.
But DLSS is kind of insane. I can definitely see it because remember, of all the consoles, the Nintendo Switch is the only one that is running an NVIDIA chip.
Mm-hmm.
And if the next iteration could have DLSS access to it, then that means that suddenly our dreams are realized. We could very well have the Switch that runs 4K Mario, they can super sample, those games that have been released, and the new ones could be looking very, very good. And if not, maybe not competitive with a PS5 or an Xbox, right? But close enough. Maybe even PS4, good. Which put that together with running very well. I mean, now you have a compelling and exciting reason to really say, "Oh, yeah, I am jumping up to the Switch 2."
The Switch version of it, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
to the Switch 2, yeah.
Yeah, altogether, yeah. I will upgrade my Switch for
that.
this.
I mean, I would want that.
And on top of that, an OLED screen.
Yeah, but in the end, bro, and this is the issue, and this is the main issue. The Switch just sitting there, bro. For me, and
I mean, the games are there.
I mean, sure. I think I've played everything I've wanted to play. Some of the indies I've
played
a lot
of other games that you should be playing. Bayonetta.
I played Zelda, the first Bayonetta, and I can barely even continue it because I'm like, I can't. And Zelda, you warned me off of Zelda because of.
Well, it's not. I mean, don't let me try it yourself because you might be enamored with this game. I mean, it's a Zelda game. If you tell anybody that I told you not to play a Zelda, they'll probably go after my head. Especially this game that has been touted as like, geez, the second coming.
Yeah,
this is. Yeah.
I know enough about Breath of the Wild where I'm just like, and I want to, but it's just one of the things like I don't want to leap into something and then realize, oh, no, I should have. I realize, 20 hours in, like, man, I really should have just listened to everybody else, what I mean? Or listen to the naysayers, because there are a few naysayers when it comes to Breath of the Wild, not many, but there are few. And so, so I get it, but right now, I feel like there is a gap when it comes to content for that particular console, which is why it's sitting there. And I don't know, would I want, to upgrade? Yeah, I would, but I also want a reason to upgrade. So I'm actually using it. You know what I mean? So if they can do that and the next, I don't know, major Ubisoft title is now available and matches exactly what a PlayStation 5 can do on a Switch, at least, then I can say, well, yeah, sure, maybe I'll get that version of it. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be. But it's interesting. It is. But it remains to be seen what they can do with it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, my next piece, guys, is sort of a happy story so far. Ex-Bethesda game director that we all fell in love with back in 2019, Ikumi Nakamura, has announced that she is opening her own indie studio and is developing a new game. A short documentary from GameSpark and Archipel follows Nakamura as she tours abandoned buildings in Japan. Nakamura revealed that she left the Evil Within developer Tango Gameworks due to health troubles. Quote, I started wondering whether there wasn't a way for me to make games while feeling better. I took the decision to quit before it was too late. After leaving, Nakamura received over 2,000 messages on LinkedIn offering studio visits and support. She used these opportunities to understand, quote, what made a good working environment. So I decided to use that experience to open up my own studio and build my IP. Later in the documentary, Nakamura adds that she wants to build a diverse team, noting that her E3 presentation, after her E3 presentation, 80% of the messages she received were from women, quoting, happy to see a female director getting on stage and showing off her game. Nakamura rounds off the documentary by adding that she wants to make a game, quote, full of dark jokes, and compares herself to Deadpool. Wow. After 9 years at Tango Gameworks Director last project being Ghostwire Tokyo. This came shortly after Nakamura stole the show at Bethesda's E3 conference. Nakamura says that she initially thought that her talk had gone badly, but a colleague later showed how the presentation was blowing up on Twitter and in media. She, quote, realized, I now know how important it is to be honest to oneself. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because she's also looking to, she says here she plans to pitch a new Okami game to Capcom.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if you guys...
She had big aspirations.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys remember, I know you, Dreamy, you do, but I don't know if listeners remember her, but I remember where I think we were all just like,
oh, dude,
blown away by her
I was
enthusiasm.
In love. She brought this is the freaking Bethesda show, and you see like all the cringy presentations. That's their method, and here comes this very nice, very sweet Japanese lady, and she's presenting. I think it was Ghostwire Tokyo, right?
Yeah. And she was presenting it
correctly. And I mean, this game is dark and weird, but she presented in such an enthusiastic, a level of enthusiasm that it just warms your heart. And I can see how maybe she thought, oh man, this is awkward. Maybe people think, that was just like cringy. And no, she was just fantastic.
Because there was laughter. There was laughter from the audience, but it wasn't making fun laughter. No, it was actually genuine. She's into what she's saying, and we're into it with her. Yeah.
Like she could present, I was after that. I'm like, dude, whatever you want to do, I'll definitely, I'll definitely keep an eye on it.
Which is exactly the reason I bring it up, because like I have been following, and I've been wondering where she's going to end up landing.
Yeah, because she's done with Bethesda. She left a while back before the buyout. All right. Well, that was definitely happy news. Hey, here's some more happy news.
Oh, some more happy. Okay.
Yes. Let's keep it positive. Positive vibes, everyone. So let's talk about the global chip shortage affecting everything from PS5 to graphics cards. It's pretty much becoming a crisis at this point. So anyone's already aware PS5s are very hard to find. Consoles in general, but specifically PS5s are the ones that are especially hard to get. Let's not even talk about video cards. Thanks to a global crisis affecting the supply of semiconductor chips, as well as anything that uses them. And believe me, there's a lot of things that uses semiconductors nowadays. So
yeah, actually, if I know you're probably going to mention this, but Apple had to delay their recent iPhone.
Their iPhone, and that's freaking Apple, which that they have. Dude, they have leverage.
Yeah, exactly.
So, as The Guardian reports, while the supply of chips should be improving now that we're months out from some of the worst COVID lockdowns and distribution disruptions, things has actually gotten worse because of market changes. We've been buying a lot more computers and TVs and consoles and video cards while stuck at home, and a huge influx of new products using them, putting further strain on the supply chain. PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X shortages are just the tip of the iceberg. Big phone launches, like you just mentioned, Apple and Samsung, has been postponed. New graphics cards are still hard to find, and all over the world, car manufacturers are either scaling back production or piling up unfinished cards in parking lots while they wait for the chips needed to power their software systems.
Dear Lord.
Chips are everything, tech analyst. Oh, that's a quote. Chips are everything, tech analyst Neil Camplin told The Guardian. Quote continues, there is a perfect storm of supply and demand factors going on in here. But basically, there is a new level of demand that can't be kept up with everyone in crisis and get it worse. Kept up with. Everyone's in crisis and it's getting worse. That's what I meant to say. Sorry. End quote. Kotaku reported that the current administration, President Joe Biden, was looking at reviewing the causes behind this, but it's hard to see how to see what good that could do. We know the reason. It is simply that supply of the chips isn't enough to meet demand, and it may not be for quite a while, which is why uh, going on to make things like graphic card shortage and inflated resales market is expected to be much worse. And I recently actually mentioned, I might have mentioned on the podcast, I had a video card just lying around from 2017. I paid like $700 for it, I think. I sold that thing 2 years later, already used, open and used, of course, very well kept because I do care of my electronics. But I sold that thing on eBay for $900, $980 actually.
Oh.
So I made a profit of that, and the only reason that was possible was because of the incredible demand for, in this case it was graphic cards. We don't need to talk about the obvious scalping problem that is happening with consoles now. You get a PS5, you put it on eBay, chances are you're gonna get double what you pay.
Yeah, I think the mean right now is about 800, and that's like the average. It's higher and lower, but that's about the average that it's going at. You'll find some that are higher.
It's because it's saturated. It's because a lot of people are doing this. Yeah. You're right. But that's because it's crazy. But right now, like the video card that I bought in September, the 3080, not the 3090, the 3080, that card is going upwards of, what was the last price that I saw? It was like $2,300 or $2,400 for a 3080. I can't even fathom what a 2090 will be going for nowadays.
Like seven.
It was 700. I paid $700. And here's the thing. I bought I was lucky to nail a founder's edition of the Nvidia card. I say that because like they were kind of limited, let's just say, and I am super afraid of something happening to the card, because if it's damaged, if it gets damaged, even with warranty, I know I'm not gonna get a replacement
for a while.
I will get and I will say even at all, I will probably get my money back and be like, well, sorry, we can't do anything with it, because that's the nature of affairs right now. Yes, the RMAs of video cards have been like held for like a month, so it's a very, very bad, very dire situation. I can also imagine, although I will expect the companies, Microsoft, Sony, to be more prepared for this kind of stuff. Like they should have a queue of consoles that they're not selling, that they're just there for, hey, this is gonna be for if we need to for RMAs basically, right? Yeah. I'm sure hoping, because it'll really suck if suddenly my PlayStation Red rings and suddenly I'm just being given money for it, my money back, because, well, we can't replace it, son. But yeah, it is scary. It is actually the situation right now, and it's not. I mean, it just like the article says, it's a perfect storm. It is, well, people are not going out anymore because everybody's bunkered in. They're gonna be bored at home. They need to do online learning and work from home and stuff like that. They need new computers. So guess what? PC sales has skyrocketed like they haven't in like forever. Yeah. A position where a business that was actually being overtaken at one point by tablets. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
But now, don't forget about that. PCs are hot shit right now again. And
I mean, those fads come and go, and so it made sense for its time. Hell, even freaking the NFL at one point I think they still use what are those like notebooks or something like that. That they're the tiny little computers that have these fake or not fake but those weird keyboards, whatever. They're not actually there. They're not part of it.
Netbooks.
Yeah. So they were using that for a little bit and all that. I mean, you can see it's everywhere. And now, I can.
Yeah, but I would argue that this time it's being forced to, because
you have to.
You can't use a tablet to work.
Correct. Exactly. You can use it, but you're not gonna. You use it as a I just want to work from home today.
Yeah.
Now it's like shit. I need to work from home all the time. I'm gonna need some good good stuff.
This is my tool now for work. I can't be skimping around with no tablet. I actually need a computer, or I am too bored. I can't get a console for shit. Now I might want to upgrade the old computer that I have, and who knows, maybe your old computer right now, it's worth like God knows how much.
You didn't even know. Yeah, you could probably make money off of it. Yeah,
exactly.
That's hilarious. My last piece, guys. Microsoft is currently testing a change to Xbox Live Gold that would allow players to access certain online multiplayer features, such as multiplayer gaming in free-to-play titles, without an Xbox Live Gold subscription. The company announced Wednesday on the Xbox Inside Twitter account. The company originally announced plans to make this change alongside a rollback of a planned Xbox Live price hike in January. This news comes 2 days after Microsoft confirmed a rebrand for Xbox Live, announcing that it plans to call it the Xbox Network instead. Xbox insiders, specifically those in the Alpha Skip Ahead and Alpha programs, are currently testing the new version of Xbox Network that removes the gold requirement from multiplayer and free-to-play games, looking for groups and party chat. Microsoft said on Twitter that is lifting the gold paywall for insiders as a test ahead of rolling it change out for everyone. So basically, it just it'll eventually be available. So yeah, man. So interesting. It's for free-to-play games for the moment. So we'll see where they go from there. But just a hot.
It was free to play, and like something else also that
like some sort of communities or some sort of weird thing.
Yeah. Also, you stole my story about the PlayStation, about the Xbox network name change. So now I'm forced to look for a final story here real quick. But sideline before I do. What the fuck, man?
I love it, man.
What the fuck is? Why Okay, here's the thing with Microsoft, all right? The only good brand name that they have is Xbox. Just Xbox. That's it. Nothing else after, nothing else before, nothing, because they don't know how to brand for shit. All right? And it has happened before. The Zune. It happened with Microsoft Surface, which was one thing, and then they decided to change the name and use it for the computers. It happens with it happens with everything. Office 365 or whatever the hell. They have a perfect name on Xbox Live. Everybody knew what Xbox Live was. It has been there from day one. Now they go ahead and they change it to Xbox Network, which it just brings me back to the 90s. So like this might as well be called America Online again. It just sounds so stupid and so like businessy.
It does seriously.
It's like they have a huge this. I'm serious, bro. They have a huge problem with branding. I mean, they had their music service, and their music service was Soon Music, and then it's like, oh, nobody was using that because Soon, it was a joke. Okay, let's name it Xbox Music, because that's not confusing. Oh, well, that's confusing actually, because Xbox is gaming and music is something else. Now it's called whatever the fuck it's called. It's called right now. I forgot. But it is a different name, and that's not working for them. they call their Xbox 2 Xbox 360, which okay, it's the first time you fuck up a name, but that's fine. It make look like an inhale, so whatever. Then Xbox One, even though it's the third Xbox, and now Xbox Series X and the Series S. That don't get, what the fuck is going on with Microsoft and their naming? Like, who is working drunk?
Honestly,
Who is it that is it's like mishandling this in such a poor manner? There was nothing wrong with the brand Xbox Live. Xbox Live was the online component. It has been there since 2001. Why change it to Xbox Network? Later on bring it back to Live, because people are gonna hate it, or if not, they're gonna be so indifferent to this that it's meaningless. That the name itself is gonna be meaningless. Xbox Next Network. Okay, so it's the network portion of my. So you made something that had a cool name and just change it to a generic term. Bravo.
I'm gonna say that considering their history with their poor names, when this announcement happened, I was like, yeah, that kind of falls in line with
exactly.
with
It's like,
they do.
of course, they don't have they. Of course, they were gonna do that.
It suddenly was just like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Of course, they were gonna mess up their naming, because that's what they have done from the get go. Groove. By the way, Groove Music is the name uh of their music streaming service.
Mm.
Groove Music, and then and they name the digital assistant Cortana, which I actually kind of like, but it was because it was coming from Halo. But then, like, nobody cared about Cortana, because fuck Cortana. She was not. She was no series. Certainly not Aleka. I'm not gonna say her name because I don't want to wake her up.
Oh yes, we'll leave her asleep for sure.
Yes, she should not be named.
She should not be named.
There you go. Yeah. Anyway, so I just wanted to bring that up because now that there are talks that they're acquiring Discord, and I'm like, okay,
what are they going to change that to?
I think I posted what I think it was gonna they were gonna change it to, and I forgot what I actually said, but it's like, yeah, I can definitely see them fucking that up also, because of course they would. I mean,
yeah, we all know what's coming. Xcord. That's what's happening.
Xcord is not Xcord wouldn't be as bad. The problem is they're gonna
because they didn't make it up. I made it up.
Exactly. They'll probably call it Xbox Skype. Yeah, that's what they call it.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
that's really disgusting.
My last piece of news: Genshin Impact made over $1 billion in just 6 months. What?
Oh, I know
it. You've heard about Genshin Impact, right? Okay, all right.
Microtransaction heaven. Yep.
But no, it is not. All right. And I can say it because I've played enough of it.
Yeah, I can say that because they made $1 billion in 6 months. So clearly there is. Just
at that point, you're enjoying the game so much. It's a free to play. It's a literally free to play game.
That was not an attack. That was not an attack at it at all. I'm just saying that's why.
I can definitely see it, because I remember when I was playing it, it's like, man, I'm having a good time. This is actually a full-fledged game. This might as well be the fixed version. Well, I'm not gonna say it like that. This might as well a similar version to Breath of the Wild, because your weapons don't break, But it's a full-fledged game. But like, oh man, that thing that they're offering right now looks so cool. I can work towards it. or I can just get it now for like $1 or $2, maybe. That's always the problem with those
That is, yep.
microtransaction
That's how they
games.
get you.
Yep. They got a lot of people. They didn't get me, but I mean, mentally they did. So yeah, Genshin Impact has raked in over 1 billion uh in mobile revenue since launch nearly 6 months ago in September 28th. The data, as usual, comes from industry and analyst Sensor Tower, which found that Genshin Impact reached its lofty figure faster than any other game on the market. Even the behemoth that is Pokemon Go, with over 4 billion in revenue and counting, took 9 months. Uh, Before we get too celebratory, the person that wrote this should note or noted that Genshin Impact is a gacha game. Gacha, essentially, users play the lottery to unlock new characters in its Breath of the Wild style world. While the vast majority of people won't spend a dime on this type of games, the genre relies on hooking whales or big spenders and bleeding them for all they're worth.
Yep,
As such, you
that's
can tell
how
this
it
person
works.
this
Yeah.
person is not a fan, let me tell you. As such, this is an unhealthy proclivity for a gambling trend. Oh shit, I can't read anymore because I'm laughing. To Sorry, for gambling tends to be the most common victim. Gamblers, I guess. Anyway, yeah, the person does not like gambling, and to be fair, neither do I. So that's, I mean, when you play, just remember, and remember, kids, a free to play game is actually playing you. G.I. Joe. Oh,
Real
I forgot to say,
American
and no,
hero.
it's half the battle.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. You see what happens when I'm not ready for
For a news piece?
a new piece because you
Sorry.
stole the one that I had.
That was probably on purpose. Not. But yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay, all right. Then I'm just gonna bring one up. All right. So Kojima Productions' next game is gonna be announced quite soon. Legendary art director Yohi Shinkawa has revealed that we might not have to wait long to see Kojima's production. What Kojima production is up. Kojima production has been fairly quiet since the release of Death Stranding, though there has been some cryptic teasers, and there's a link to them. I haven't seen any teasers, but that's what the article says. But according to studio art director and Kojima collaborator Yohi Shinkawa, the team's next project will be announced soon. Shinkawa
Mm.
was interviewed by Al Hub via VGC about a wide range of topics. And then there is a quote that says, "Oh yeah, I'm doing something for sure, and I could tell you probably that we can announce it quite soon," Shinkawa said when asked about the studio's next game. So there have been some recent reports that an enhanced version of Death Stranding is in the works for PS5. Shinkawa is likely referring to something else entirely. I am actually very interested on seeing what this might end up being, Mad Dog. You know why? Because this game kind of surprised me. The
Death
Death
Stranding. Oh yeah, yeah.
Stranding,
Mhm.
uh, it's a game that I loved, yet I hated so many parts, so many things about it. And if you ask me if I could recommend it to someone, like it becomes this circular. It's like you know that war games machine, that computer from the game from the movie War Games, you know,
Yeah.
that they try to like break by having it play tic tac toe against itself.
Yeah, thermal, and they did the thermal nuclear global War, I think it was the movie.
Yeah. It's like, and and then he deducted that the best way to play that game is not to play it at all. Well, when people ask me questions, the best answer is for me not to answer because I can't really give him one. So should I play Death Stranding? Oh,
Yeah, about
I
that.
mean, Rob, you know what? You should play it because this game is something else. I mean, you hate it. You'll hate a lot of things. It's stupid, but man, was it great. But don't play it. But you gotta play it.
I honestly, I've come to the conclusion that I will recommend it because it's just. I will recommend it with a caveat that I need to explain what it is.
See, that's the problem.
Well, no, what I'm saying is it's like I need to explain what's involved. I'm not going to give anything away, but I'm saying this is what's happening so that you go in just knowing, well, that's what's going to happen. So
how does that sound? And then,
yeah. And because I feel like if you don't, then someone would be, early on going, I can't believe this is what this is about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't have the connection to Kojima. I think you and I and many others knowing Kojima, those moments where we're like, man, this is really, it wasn't dragging or anything like that, but it was feeling weird. And because we know Kojima, we're like, we have faith and we're going to continue on this. And it paid off. You know what I mean? Because after a while, you realize that the hook really is just moving across the nation. That's really, there's no surprise. That's really what you're doing. You know what I mean? So, and then once you realize that, you see how the intricate nature of what it takes to deliver. Yeah, it's really a fascinating game, and I would recommend it. But I would, depending on the person, if they're familiar with Kojima, maybe not so much. But if they have no idea, have never played a Metal Gear game, then I'm like, all right, sit down. Let me give you a quick, let me give a quick little.
So deliveries and cities have names of nuts, and your transported bridges.
Yeah, and you are delivering packages to people you will never see live because you can't for reasons. And
the rain makes you older.
Yeah, and you need to avoid the rain because it makes you older.
Yeah.
Nope, that's the truth. Don't question it. Just just go with it.
Just accept it. Yes, it is. Yeah. It is what does it drink? I mean, you know what? That's not established.
We don't know. We understand that there's a lot of recycling happening.
Yes,
you know what I mean? And somewhere along the line, I feel they're recycling that rain and making it okay. So
and they make beer out of it.
Yeah, and then beer is always healthy, so you're good.
Yes, exactly.
All right, guys. Well, that brings us to the end of our news segment, and stay tuned. We'll be right back with our hot topic.
Hot topic.
Guys, we are back, and it is now time.
Love in an elevator. I don't know why I'm singing this song.
Love in an elevator. Living it up while we're going down. I freaking I love me some damn Aerosmith. Love me.
Oh, freaking absolutely. Best gaming surprise ever. To finish Dead or Alive, I think it was 6 maybe, or an Xbox exclusive Dead or Alive that came out. And one of the stories of the guy, I guess she was the main character of it because she was the only one with a completely elaborated ending with credits sung by Aerosmith. I'm like, what? Like, why? Why would they spend the money on licensing this song?
It's worth it. Hello, I think it's worth it.
It must have been. But it's of course it's freaking what's his name? Tomoku Iragawa. It was Iragaki-san. This guy's eccentric, so he was probably like, no, I want part of this budget is to pay Aerosmith. I want this song for the ending of this character, and that's my or else it's not happening. Okay, Mr.
I walk away right now.
Okay, Mr. Iragaki-san, what are you saying? Sumimasen. They just went ahead and did it.
Yeah.
Oh man. Speaking of regrets, no, I'm kidding. No.
I kid.
No regrets here.
So yeah, Hot Topic guys, we are on. We're going to be a full spoiler review of the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. Last week, Mr. Dreamy Twister gave his impressions, non-spoiler impressions. So for those who maybe not have heard that, Dream Twister, just give your, a quick blurb on your non-spoiler impressions of that movie.
Of my non-spoiler impression of the movie, it's I think I started by saying that I really liked it. That I liked the movie. That the first one I didn't. The 2017 one, I was excited to see what was happening because I wanted to see, Superman and Batman and the whole Justice League in action. Even though Batman versus Superman wasn't like super great, but I still kind of okay. It was okay with me. So I wanted to see what happened. It was a disaster, This one, it fixed a lot of the things that a lot of the some loose ends that he had. I thought they were tied up perfectly. They did justice to the character of Cyborg. They flesh out the Flash. I spoke about how I really like the music, and I thought it was very well orchestrated. And I also mentioned how I enjoyed the little bit going back to the kind of a darker version of the movie, but in a good way. Because I remember saying that I didn't care much for the Josh Whedon vision of it, of making it be a little bit too lighthearted, kind of like a lot of the Avengers movie ends up being. Except with the Avengers, those movies, the story carried them, so it's still okay to have those funny moments. It's not just funny stupid. The movies are still great, but like I didn't think it landed with this one well at all. And also I thought it was like very haphazardly the original one, was very haphazardly cut, edited,
and for sure.
This one was very well done, but it took a lot of work and a lot of patching to make it be worthy. So I enjoyed it a lot, and I believe I might have scored a 4 out of 5 on our scale.
Yeah.
But it took way too much. Way too much patching. Like the movie ended up being a hefty 4 hours, and some of them was not even necessary. Like a good 30. I personally think you might say even more, but I personally think a good 30-minute was absolutely unnecessary. A good 30 minutes of it. A good probably other 30 minutes could have been edited maybe better to keep it into like maybe under 3 hours, and I believe it might have worked still. But yeah, no, that's not what we got.
For the record, guys, 4.0 on our scale is a great rating.
Yes. And I stand by that. And I stand by that. Even after I thought it was gonna, I was gonna like get off the hype a little bit after a little bit. But the more I read about it, the more I kept seeing. I was like, oh yeah, this movie. Like it's too early to rewatch, but I'm probably gonna want to watch it again sometime because I enjoyed it a lot.
First, I need to get this particular part out of the way, and I need to say it on the non-spoiler section of this particular review, and that is I have been operating under the impression that
the 2017 movie never happened.
That a lot of what was being done in the Snyder Cut was not there before. I was under the impression that the reason it's 4 hours is because they had to go and do reshoots and they did do reshoots, for the record, but I underestimated how much Zack Snyder's vision of this film was already filmed. A lot of this film, and I had to do some interesting research just to really confirm that, which is why I ended up watching it again, because I was like, now that I know, and I have that removed from my head, because I thought that this Zack Snyder cut didn't exist, which a lot of people didn't. For the record, a lot of people said there's no Zack Snyder cut. You know, those Zack Snyder cuts probably like a few scenes that you just cut out. That's not enough to fix the fucking film, right? Yeah. So it really turns out that that's not the case. The case is it was a significantly different vision, and he really did shoot a large portion of this film already. So what you get from this cut really is his true vision. So because of that, I need to start off in saying I was wrong. That's not the case. And what a large portion of the Justice League that we ended up getting from the theatrical Whedon cut is a lot of redone stuff that didn't exist in the original. And that's why it felt so, the movie itself felt, just divided in many ways, or just felt, the pacing and everything was off, and it just because they gave the film to Joss Whedon and said, "Hey, we need you to fix this, but we need you to do it in this amount of time. We need you to whatever, make it happen. Remove some stuff, whatever you got to do, just make it whatever, And so I got to give props to Zack Snyder in saying that, now my feeling on this film is, first off, it is ridiculously bloated. It is way too long. And I'll get into spoilers on that. When we get into spoilers, I'll get into details of that, but it's way too long. There's way too much slow-mo. There is 4:3 makes no fucking sense. Okay, it's just there's just no reason to do. And don't get me wrong, I get it. Because the reality is that's how the full shot is, and it gets moved to a 16:9 or whatever as you go on. But that full shot is what gets brought to, like real what do you call it? Those theaters? What do you call the theaters that have the big
IMAX?
IMAX, the big IMAX theater. That's the screen shot you're getting when you're watching it. It's completely full, a huge screen. So I get that, but that's not how my TV fucking works. You know what I mean?
Wait. So is IMAX is 4:3?
IMAX is the real IMAX, not the fake IMAXs that most people go to. The real IMAX is this huge wall of a fucking screen that's like massive. I haven't been to one, for the record. I've been to quote unquote IMAX theaters, but I have not been to a true IMAX theater. There aren't many.
Is Point Orlando a true IMAX, or is it a fake? Where we saw, I
don't know if Point Orlando is.
Because I remember a screen this fucking thing had 2 floors. So, but I don't remember it being 4:3 when we watched, unless I was not paying attention. That's news to me.
It's such a massive wall. You can't fucking tell. As far as you see, all you see is a massive wall.
You see screen.
Yeah. So
I've been bamboozled this whole time. I've been showing an Instagram picture,
pretty much
blown up.
Yeah, pretty much.
And here I am, like salivating, like, oh my god, I can see it in the back of my head.
Get filmed in that basic aspiration, and then they adjust it to whatever, and it still has the resolution, everything, all that's still there. It's just it is cut further down. That's something, and I get it. I get that that's something that you would want in your film, whatever. I get
decision, whatever.
There's no reason to have this in this film. I've seen plenty of films that makes sense. Where it's like I've seen this movie, which is a great film, and the name escapes me now for some freaking reason. The Grand Budapest Hotel, where it separates the ratio based on the time that you're watching the film in. So in the beginning of the film, it's in 60.9 because it's in present time, and then it moves back further in time. By the time you get to the story, which is way long ago, it's in 4.3. But it's like, okay, I get it. The artistic and presentation you're doing here is, well, that's if this film was filmed at that time, right, this is how it would look. You know what I mean? So I get it. But when you just have the film look like this for no freaking reason, it's like, it doesn't make sense. So I'm not going to dwell on that. But the point is that, now all that said, it is way more coherent than the 2017 theatrical cut. It is way more exciting. I care a lot more as to what's going on. I am not cringing at certain characters that I was cringing before. And a lot of those scenes that we hated, that like, you go, whatever, those are all Whedon scenes. And when you see it, you're like, man, it just dawned on me. It's like, man, this really was a chopped up, fucked up version that Warner. I don't blame Whedon as much as I blame Warner Brothers saying, hey, we just need this done, but you need to do it. At that point, they were already in flux with how people felt about Superman versus Batman. And, it just became this thing, like, just finish it, make it this, do what you got to do, make it lighter. And then before you know it, you have elements that make no fucking sense. And the movie is absolute garbage. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There is an article that I read, as it was Vanity Fair, in my research of this. Christopher Nolan, who we love, right, dearly, he's the producer, believe it or not, of Justice League. Even the theatrical cut. He is a producer, and
I saw his name. That's true. I forgot about that. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, what is he? He's involved in this?
He was.
I do remember. Yes.
It was a big deal because they wanted him to come back for the Justice League, and he said, "No, I'm done after Batman." He was done. But he came back as a producer. He was like, hey, we'll do this. He went to see the theatrical cut at like one of those early pressers of the film, walked out halfway, got to, when he finally got to speak with Snyder, he told him, don't ever watch this film. So that's how, that alone kind of tells you the just disaster that was the original Justice League. And so because of that, this film does improve on that. Yeah. It has problems nonetheless. You know what I mean? It is far from a perfect film. It has issues. Some of the issues, unfortunately, are self-inflicted by Zack Snyder, a common thing that he does. And I can see it as it's happening. I'm going, yep, that's Zack Snyder, all right. It's like, so because of that, it's not a great film, but I did rate it a good film. And after watching it the second time, I have no reason to change that. So it is a good film, a 3.0 on my scale, and on our scale, excuse me. And so that's my non-spoilery impressions of it. So now, warning, we're going to go into spoilers now.
And if you're not following here, then thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week. Okay, cut.
Exactly. All right, we are in full spoilers, sir. Talk to me. What did you love about this film specifically? What did you not like about this film? And go.
I mean,
do you want to start with the good, or do you want to start with the bad?
No, I can tell. I can start with. I can start with the good, but it's just gonna be regurgitation of what I already mentioned. Because I can't tell a specific shots because I don't remember movies that way. I mean, for me to remember a movie that way, I will literally have to watch it it'll have to be one of those that I have rewatched a bunch of times. What I do recall, liking was the like I alluded at the beginning, the fact that Cyborg and Flash, characters that were given like might as well not have been there, might as well been Star Trek red shirts, if
For
anything.
real, the rest, yeah.
They were given proper and respectful introductions. Especially my boy Cyborg, which was done the worst on the original movie, and in this one, he went from being like almost a cameo appearance,
Yeah, yeah.
to actually being a very important part of that plot, and
A major portion,
a major
a major
portion, yeah,
part of it. Yeah, yeah.
a major part of it, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I did enjoy that because we already know that, yeah, Flash was always, the kind of like the comic relief of it, and uh he was, he was funny, and I do remember that, even people that hated the movie was like, oh man, but the Flash was funny. At least the Flash was decent,
Yeah, but
but
he was just cringy in the
he was
first one.
cringy, yeah.
Here,
Oh yeah,
yeah. Here,
it
I
was
think.
not a high bar. It
Yeah,
was, yeah,
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I agree, but for the record, for that,
Yeah.
and to kind of expound on it, I feel that while those were great, right? Because with the Flash, you get a little bit fleshing out of his story and all that. I feel like we may have benefited more from really just giving them their origin story movie. You know what I mean? Before
Oh,
coming to
absolutely,
this point.
without a doubt.
And I
Yeah,
think that's kind of where I felt a little gypped, particularly with
yeah,
Cyborg, because I feel that, if you really think about it, there's the scene where I guess you're hearing his father, and he's kind of seeing the computer stuff in his head and all this stuff. I'm like, all this is an exposition dump of a movie we should have just had.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And it probably would have done this and even better. You know what I mean? Because you would have really got the story. By the time you get to this point, you could really just focus on the story at hand and not have to worry about him essentially brooding for a lot of the movie. You know what I mean? Or just kind of depressed and shit. I'm like, okay. But yeah, so I can definitely agree with that. Agree with that.
Yeah, and each movie could have been its own thematic thing, right? Like, the Flash is, the very fun, lighthearted, character, and yes, he could be put on, like, say, like a Spider-Man movie, like the new Spider-Man movies. It could be that, that level of movie that they're still exciting in their own way. They're lighthearted. Maybe the stakes are not like world destroying stakes, but it's something, they're still high enough for you to care about. And then Cyborg, oh man, Cyborg has, so much sci-fi that they could have actually, sci-fi mixed with almost Black Mirror, ish things that they could have actually gone into in an origin movie. In a way, I feel like he's a little bit OP in the sense of, he has basically omnipresence by being able to hack into like any computer, do like
Anything
whatever,
else.
like
Yep.
anything. It's like,
all the nukes of the world you have control over. I'm like,
you have all things, exactly. You have all things.
I don't know about that.
Like, so you were able to, yeah, exactly. So one thing is to say, oh, he's very powerful and he has computing power and whatever. But other thing is to say, like, he can just hack into any, like, encryptions and algorithms are a joke to him. I mean, that's not the line, but you know what I mean.
It might as well be, yeah.
Having it being like this, like, ultimate computer hacking god, it's like, okay, well, he might as well be more powerful than anybody then, because
that's what this is. Yeah, that's the funny thing about Justice League. All these characters, except for Batman, is that they are gods. That's essentially, they are gods amongst men. You know what I mean? And that's what makes it hard to really create a story for them, because it just feels like it's hard to do, essentially.
It feels like you don't know how to. It feels like, well, you guys are gods in your own realms, but you really don't know how to take advantage of your gift, because I'm sure that taking advantage of your gift, you could have come up with a better plan to stop, like, whoever,
Yeah. But all the power in the world, and he gives $100,000 to some woman randomly. It was like,
randomly, yeah.
Congrats, bro. Good job.
he has access to all the nuclear. You mean you can have done something that had to? I mean, you're not gonna throw you're not gonna drop a nuclear device on a nuclear missile on Steppenwolf's base, but maybe you should have because that place was already radioactive anyway. So who cares? It's like it's to stop me anyway. Obviously, we're not gonna try to like poke holes into the plot, any more that they might seem they have. I'm gonna say that among the things that I really liked was the fact that Steppenwolf was not just some stupid prick, a villain.
Yes, he was definitely much cooler. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. He was definitely
menacing.
A force. Menacing.
Yeah, he was menacing. Yeah.
Yeah. Because the problem I have with the original the original version of Steppenwolf is that he just felt like, well, he's just an alien, some alien, humanoid, and
he's just bad to be bad. Yeah,
he's just bad, exactly for no reason. There's no exactly. It's like you've always said it. A villain, the best villains believe in their cause, believe what they're doing is right.
They're not the good guy. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. They're not being evil for the evil's sake, but that's what I felt about it. In this one, he had a purpose. He was trying to he was trying to basically prove himself back to Darkseid.
Because he betrayed Darkseid and he got banished because of it. So suddenly he has an actual, motive. That's not just I want to destroy everything. It's like no, I need to better to prove myself so that I can be let back home because he's been banished. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, okay, well now, there we go. We can go with that. That's a good freaking motivation for anyone. That can make sense for anyone. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a bad guy. Anyone can feel the same way. I just want to go home. But instead, I owe 50,000 planets to him because I try to be. You know what I mean? It's like I'm on this endless mission to give this so that I can finally go home, and that is way more relatable than anything that the other one was showing.
Yeah, absolutely. This one I can respect, even though. And we're gonna talk about that when we get to it, which was the ridiculous dream scene or whatever we want to call it. That portion of the movie. I can appreciate the fact that knowing that there's not gonna be a sequel anyway, they still went ahead and made a movie with the original intention that they have, as if they was gonna be one. As if there was
original cut.
Setting. Exactly. Like all of that, I can appreciate. And the music, man, I think the music they did a fantastic job here. Also,
it was way better than the other one. There was some weird choices, particularly the weird song during Flash's moment. The Flash moment was great. Particularly the one where he puts his finger through. That moment was great. He puts his finger through the glass as he goes to try to save the girl.
Yes. Okay.
Was excellent, dude. First off, it was such a that scene was beautiful. The song choice there was a little bit.
I thought it was weird. It was. Talk about they try to put this like romantic thing on it.
And then what's the deal with the hot dog at that point? I'm just like, because the first time he grabs the hot dog is next to her face. And me being a grown ass man and all, I was like, okay, where are we going with this? Where are we going with this? And obviously it cleans it up, but the initial thought is like, okay, this is not funny, bro. What are we doing here?
Also, keep in mind, if you're doing whatever it is that you're doing at the speed that you're doing it, that hot dog should have exploded
in his hand.
Your finger on it.
Exactly. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, "Hello, if your shoes exploded from just your movement,
your movement, I mean? Exactly. Yeah.
It's like that should be all over the place." But
which I can appreciate that level of detail also, and just like I said, the glass also, exploding the way that it did.
Excellent, bro. Honestly, I got a little bit of chills when I saw. I was like, "Oh yes, they're nailing Flash here, bro."
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they're nailing Flash. So that was actually pretty cool. I actually also, I gotta say, I think, I know that the Justice League is, first thing in Justice League, you think Batman, you think Superman. No, my friend, the fucking hero of the Justice League, even in this film, is fucking Wonder Woman, bro.
Okay. Wonder Woman.
For sure, dude. She is legendary in every battle she's battling. Particularly the beginning, where she just comes in, and we've said, there's a lot of slow-mo that's too. By the way, IGN actually has an exact count in minutes of how much slow-mo's in there, and it's 23 minutes, bro.
23 minutes of slow-mo?
23 minutes of slow-mo, yes.
Oh shit!
Eliminate that, and you don't have.
Oh, but I don't want to eliminate completely. Give me half of that.
All right, so we got half of that. So you got 12 minutes or whatever. So
there you go.
So
wow.
Although a minute of slow-mo is actually pretty long. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
but anyway, so this is what I'm trying to say, that the slow-mo works when it works,
right?
Because here, when she bust into that area, this is the beginning when the whole robbers and all that. When she busts in that area,
and the terrorists,
and it quickly slows and everything happens. She's looking, whatever. Like that slow mo makes sense because then you see it in real time, and when you see her move in real time, you're like, damn, like that. She's fucking lighting it up, stopping every bullet or moving somebody out of the way as she needs to move. Dude, it was absolutely the most badass moment, one of the most badass moments of the film.
I'm trying to remember how that scene played out on the original, because
exactly the same. Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit extended. So here's the one unfortunate thing I have to say. Okay, so you know how she clangs her bracelets together at the end and just fucking eviscerates this fucking guy. You know, it's like, that's not in the other one.
Okay? No, I know that is not. And I imagine it would have been.
Yeah. And I feel like I need to remind people that that is the move she used to beat Ares, a god. She decided to basically vaporize this dude.
Yeah, it's like atomized it because they're doing to nothing.
Yeah. It was just his hat. The only thing to survive was his hat at the end. I was like, damn, that's a little overkill. You know what I'm saying? And mind you did this in front of a classroom of kids. You know,
she was pissed. She was like, "Oh fuck, no, you're not fucking with the kids." Oh no.
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
She just, I mean, yeah. After watching 1984, remember 1984?
Dude,
seeing this, it was like
freaking yes, exactly. This cleans 1984 up quick. I'm just like, thank God, because dear Lord, 1984 was such garbage. And then you see her in a mall in 1984, and you're like, why aren't you moving at the speed you just moved here?
I know, right? Exactly. Yeah.
So whatever, dude. I'm not going into that. But no, I agree. The Wonder Woman fight is that particular thing. I think she is top notch for this. I still don't dude, Batman is borderline useless in this film. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm like, damn, you have no idea.
He's useless when he's the one that put the team together.
I mean, sure, yes, but dude, Alfred could have done that. You know, Batman for that. You know what I'm saying?
Alfred could have traveled to all those places.
I'm just saying, it didn't require much other than travel. You know what I'm saying, and convincing. And you know what? Alfred is pretty cool. He's another part
I won't deny that. Yeah. It's like, he could have actually built the Justice Troop carrier also.
For sure. Yeah. So what else do I have here? Because I have a bunch of notes here. And we've kind of covered a lot of it, so I'm not gonna. Oh, so one thing I didn't like is, so we already knew that the mother boxes were like,
oh wait, we're in the dislikes already. Okay.
All right. Well, I'm kind of going back and forth because I just mentioned Alfred. I wrote here, Alfred is great. That's exactly what I wrote here. Like, I fucking love Alfred.
I thought you just wanted to shit all over Batman because you wanted to bring up Alfred.
Dude, Batman is not good. Dude, you look at him. He looks, and I'm going to say this, and it's going to blow your mind, particularly the next time you watch this. He truly looks and moves like the only one actually wearing an outfit. Everyone else moves like fluidly. You know what I mean? Flash moves fluidly. Cyborg, Wonder Woman. Granted, Wonder Woman's half naked at the time, but fucking Aquaman. He looks like stiff because the fucking suit is just like, it looks like, dear Lord, what is wrong with you?
You're not wrong. He's just a human after all. He's just a human after all. He's just a human.
You're right. That is true, but it was too evident, and it was just like
he looks cumbered by
he's always like behind, like, the battles are happening, he's finally getting there. By the time it's over, it's like, oh, well, good, it's over. Thank God you weren't going to do anything anyway, dude.
And he is giving instructions on what to do. He's like that bad
he's
boss,
the coach. That's what it is. He's a coach on the sideline going, hey, I need you to do this and go over here and do that. Yeah. So I don't know, I've seen a lot of the animated Justice League, and he's still human in that, for the record. And they do more with him, and it's just, I don't know why they just can't get it right. It is what it is. The battle, dude.
Rabbit, that's an animation. That's not real.
You're right, because this is okay. The battle at Themyscira, when the first box gets whatever. This battle felt like epic, bro. Yeah. Freaking Steppenwolf was evil as shit, dude. He grabbed fucking horses and just throwing it at people. I'm like, damn. This dude don't give us two shits. No fucks were given that day, regardless. I was like, damn. It felt
a few animals were actually hurt.
Exactly.
We have made a sizable donation to PETA because of it.
For sure. No, that was really, really, truly epic. And I think I wanted to give that a shout out. So yeah, going to the mother boxes. We said that the mother boxes were like these MacGuffins, because we know that, every fucking whatever.
Completely forgot about them on the first one.
Yeah. Here they were fleshed out, but it's funny to hear that that they were actually one of two MacGuffins, because apparently the anti-life equation is actually the more.
That's the real MacGuffin. That just, of every part in the universe, it just so happens to have landed on Earth.
Yep.
And
they found it thousands of years ago and forgot what planet it was on. It was just like I honestly missed that the first time. Easily missed that the first time. I was just like, why didn't they just come back? I guess they were afraid on all this. Nope. The mother boxes was the reason they got there, and they didn't have the mother boxes, so it was lost.
Gotta forgot. Wow. Did you grab the MacGuffin before you left?
Oh, damn, man.
Damn it. Now it's on Earth. Dude, who had it last?
Yeah. That's it, man. You're on timeout for
damn.
Yeah. So those were some. That's really a weird decision there.
Especially when there's not going to be a movie to resolve that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, at the end of this one is like, we're going to do this the old-fashioned way. And, as they're walking away, because now Steppenwolf is dead, and like, I guess we have to travel, the old way to find Earth. You know what I mean? Whatever that is. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is so weird. It's such a weird choice. But, dude, my favorite scene, I wanted to bring this up. My favorite scene that literally steals the show of this film, and I don't know if you agree with me, but it was Flash saving everyone at the end. Was absolutely legendary, bro.
When he was like super mega running, like
yeah, he was rewinding time, and
yes. That was a little like that was confusing. So he just pulled the Superman saving Lois Lane, from the earthquake that Lex Luthor created.
In some way,
Superman
yeah. Well, here's the deal. This is something that with Flash, like there's a Flashpoint paradox, and there's many of stories of Flash where he has done this. And he is able to travel so fast that he rewinds time. The problem is that he doesn't want to do it because, especially in Flashpoint paradox, it leads to bad things, which technically I think is what they were going with this Justice League and the other Justice Leagues if they ever would have come out, or if they ever come out. That it's he mentions in the thing where he's like, if I go too fast, weird things happen, and I don't like, I don't want to do that. And you see it early on in when they're about to drop the mother box into the water, but he's getting there late. Like he goes to go and he moves fast, but at some point the mother box is already in the water, and then now it starts to rewind a little bit because he himself is adjusting the time so he can get there to touch it right at the right moment. And he can do that, but he doesn't want to do it often because, again, bad things happen. He said bad things happen.
But he never explained what he means by that, or do we have an idea of what he means by that?
Well, honestly, the story that they're leading to is that the Flashpoint paradox, he changes something to go back to save his mother, and that leads to some crazy Armageddon. And he thought that's all he was trying to do, and it completely changed the world and led to like this crazy Armageddon. So it's a story. Okay. It's a storyline that exists, and so that's why he doesn't like. That's why. Well, he doesn't. He hasn't in this particular one. It doesn't look like he's tried to do something like that. But
right.
Well, he feels he feels there's something off, and he really shouldn't do it. And at the end, when he realizes he's too late because he got shot, he says, "Fuck it, I got to do it." And then he, it's a little bit of a, what do you call it? It's a little bit of a weird moment when he apparently is talking to his dad as he's doing it, which is, I guess, okay. Yes. That was a little bit odd, but the whole act where he said, "I'm doing this, and I hope you know that I was one of the ones that did this. If I don't make it." And then he completely rewinds everything to the point because he needs to get to this guy to touch it. Dude, it's fucking awesome. It's absolutely the best scene.
I'm understanding it now. Yeah, I'm understanding it. I'm understanding it now. Because that had me confused. Like, wait a minute, did he just rewind time? And then I kind of have to accept that. Like, yep, he travels fast.
Yeah. So understand that he has this ability to. Sometimes he could just be standing but still moving super fast. And that's because he's using his atoms and molecules to make them move fast, but he's still standing still. So the moment he sees the blast, he stops it and realizes and then he says, "Okay, I need to get there." And now he's super fast at this point, going backwards in time. And I love the way you see everything just kind of build back up. And I'm just like, dude, this right here was the most epic moment in this film. And it was so fucking ruined by that last half hour.
Oh, well, okay. So we might as well jump into that one.
No. I'd rather stick with the good for the moment. I'm just saying that was to me, when I first saw it, it really got me. And then I saw it again, and I'm just like, man, he had it, man. He had it here. This was the secret sauce, and he had it. You know what I mean? And because he decided to go whatever, it's one of those things where that's the moment you need to walk away from the film with. Yeah. You need to walk away from the film like, this team did that. And not only that, boom, that led to Cyborg going into the thing, him dividing the mother boxes, Superman helping him do so.
The epic method in which Steppenwolf die.
Fucking dies. Yeah, I'm saying it leads to Steppenwolf getting his ass kicked by all of them. You know what I mean? Not just Superman, by all of them. He gets like stabbed by fucking Aquaman.
Yeah.
Knocked again by Superman, and then beheaded by fucking Wonder Woman. I'm just like, hell yeah. That's what you end the fucking film on. You know what I'm saying? You know, it was epic. It was just like this.
Yeah.
Completely. Again, I don't know if I think I told you, but I don't know if you remember. Steppenwolf got fucking eaten by his parademons in the last one.
I remember that. Yeah. Because he got afraid or something like that.
And they smelled the fear on him. I'm like, what the hell is that about?
Yeah, that was that very dumb way of disposing on him. Yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah, exactly. So,
see, that makes me happy. It makes me happy that we have a version that it did justice. It did justice to the original vision, to what they were trying to go for. It was like, you might as well this is the version, you know.
I agree 100%. So yeah, I don't think we need to dive too much into the actual ending, other than say, oh god, it was awful. And it's even more awful the second time. I'm just telling you,
more awful the second time. Man, don't tell me that, because I mean, the way I saw it, like, I completely agree 100%. It was not necessary. They did not have to do that. I don't know how I would have felt if they would have done this after a credit roll, like if that would have made a difference or something. I don't know what was up with introducing the Martian dude.
Martian Manhunter. Oh, that was another one. Yeah.
So you want to talk about ruined moments? You know, let me tell you about a beautiful conversation between Louis Lane and Martha Clark.
Martha Kent. Martha Kent.
Yeah, thank you. Martha Kent. Oh, no way. Hold on. I fucked up. It was not her. It was this fucking space dude that we just get out of thin air, like out of nowhere. The movie decides to, oh, guess who's here? It's like I was thinking, like, wait, is this honestly, this was me. And mind you, this is probably gonna make you laugh. This is gonna probably be something ridiculous that's coming out of my mouth. I don't care. I don't follow comics to this level. I know nothing of that. All right.
Yeah,
all right. Yeah, with that preamble, I was thinking, like, is that like, is it Black Adam or whatever the hell is it that they call him? The other Shazam, the other guy with the balls.
The other Shazam, yeah.
Yeah. Like, is that like I was thinking, like, is that supposed to be him? Like, oh, maybe, like, I think I might have actually explained it to my wife when she asked me, like, who the hell is this guy? I was like, well, I know the actor. I don't know exactly who this is. I think it might be like from another movie they're planning on doing, you know. Maybe they needed to have the introduction, you know, so that
it was a horrible way to. So Martian Manhunter is technically one of the founding members of Justice League,
right?
And he's been a lot of his stories have always had him already on Earth for a very long time, cloaked as somebody else, and usually in the military. To be fair, being the guy who was in Man of Steel, because that's the actor who's actually playing him, being him made perfect sense, but it only makes sense to people who know.
Who knows exactly?
Yes. If you don't know, you're going to be left.
Don't remember. Yeah.
Who the hell is that? I have no. Not many people know. When you think of Justice League, a lot of people think of Super Friends, and you think, oh,
hi. Yeah, I'm one of them.
I know you're not the only one. Yeah,
I don't think it's
yeah. You don't think of it. Martian Manhunter wasn't in that. You know
I'm like, where's the Wonder Twins?
Yeah. Isn't Scooby Doo come in here sometime? What the hell? Yeah, you know what I mean. So, but yeah, I agree. So it's a horrible way of presenting him. And sure, they explain it in the end, but at that point, you just witness this stupid Joker scene, and you're just like, dear Lord, where are the credits?
Yeah. So, I feel like when I saw that, and the reason I said, you know what, it was completely unnecessary, but I didn't find it offensive, and the only reason I said that was, because to me, I took it as, well, they know they're not gonna make anything else. They know they're not gonna make another. They're not gonna continue this. Justice League 2, whatever. They have all this film probably.
Yeah. A lot of that stuff was via a reshoot. You know what I'm saying? So
via reshoot, right. So they still what? But remember, they alluded to. Wasn't there a scene? Wasn't in which movie was the one that had Flash going like? Sorry, they have Flash going like. Yeah, am I too early? Like Lois Lane is the key.
Batman vs Superman. Yeah.
Batman versus Superman.
All these scenes are supposed to be, the moments that are happy, that are they're leading. They either leading to it or so. Basically, what this film eventually is supposed to say is, Darkseid is still alive, and Darkseid obviously is now coming, right? Like the way Thanos was coming. Right? He's on his way, and something occurs which unfortunately kills Lois Lane.
Yeah.
And that leads to all these deaths. It leads to Wonder Woman dying. It leads to Aquaman dying. It leads to Superman becoming a victim of the anti-life equation because now Darkseid is able to control him, and now he becomes bad, right? And now that's the person everybody's concerned about.
What an incredible premise for a next Justice League that would have been. Like I would have loved to have seen that. I would have completely loved to have seen that in a proper proper length film, not a 30-minute little cutscene that resolves nothing.
You have no basis on what's going on there. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
And I can tell you right now, while some of this I knew, I had to find a lot of this information. Like, what is it that they were going for?
Yeah.
And then when I find it, I'm like, oh, okay, now that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's not how you want to watch a movie. I shouldn't have to look up cliff notes afterwards. It's like, wait, what was going on there? It's like, no, it should be explained in the film.
Yeah.
And that's something that, like him or hate him, Zack Snyder is great at as a visual storyteller. He can really put some shots together. There's just no doubt. He, as a visual director, he is excellent. But dude, to put a story together, it's like please hire somebody else and have them figure that shit out for you. Also, don't forget to hire an editor because some scenes just go way on too long. That doesn't need to be.
They don't need to be.
I mean?
Yeah.
This is why there is best editing as a fucking category in these things.
It takes
because the editing is important. It's like you want to. A perfect example of this, dude. When you first see Aquaman and he takes off, and now the women are singing, and one of them is smelling his shirt. I'm like, why is this happening? Why are we still here?
Yes.
Batman already. Aquaman left. Batman already left, but we're still here. Why is the audience still here? You know what I mean? It's like this is a perfect example as to why you need.
And it was so weird. Yeah, it was so weird,
and has no payoff later on. It's literally just I don't even know what the point of it is, really.
No.
So anyway, with that, I wanted to bring up some funny stuff that I know. that I noticed that I don't know if anybody else noticed, but so in the aftermath of the original fight with Darkseid and how he gets fucking chopped in the shoulder, I was like, damn, they weren't playing with this fool.
Oh, yeah.
He literally got his ass whooped and he left. You know what I'm saying? So Darkseid versus Thanos, I'm going with Thanos. You know what I'm saying? Darkseid got his ass beat. But anyway, so in the aftermath of that, they had the boxes. And so very Lord of the Rings like they're like, okay, you take this, you guys take this.
I know. Oh my God, yes.
Okay. So why is it that the Atlanteans, they formed this thing underwater and they made sure it was whatever.
I know where this is going.
The freaking the Amazons, they created this temple and apparently they put like 50 Amazons to watch it every day, whatever.
Yes.
And the fucking humans that say, hey, we're just gonna fucking build this dig this ditch Just throw it down there.
This
we'll
shallow dish, this completely shallow dish. We're not trying to throw it to, I don't know, the core of the earth, maybe, or someplace below that. But no, we're just gonna create this shallow grave and just
fucking humans, bro.
Throw it in
no wonder.
It is, yeah. Well, you know why that was? Because I found that hilarious. Also, that's why I knew you were going for that.
There's just no way to look past it, bro.
It is commentary. It is. We're fucking humans. We fucked it. We fucked things up.
Oh no,
lazy,
for sure. We have no. I mean, we don't have these palaces that these gods have. No. What else are we gonna do? It's the most sensible thing.
What do we know? Well, we can dig a hole in the ground. Okay, fuck it. Let's just dig a hole in the ground.
In total, fucking Cyborg later on does the same thing at his grave or his mom's grave or whatever. Yeah. I'm just like, this didn't work before, bro. Why are we still doing this?
Isn't this MacGuffin like kind of critical? Like I protect.
Oh, by the way, it's the last one.
You're better than this shit.
I'm like all the freaking access to all the stuff in the world, and this is your master plan here.
Yeah, I know. This is where you could actually keep it hidden. Yeah, I know.
Oh my god! Yeah, so that right there literally had me.
Also, Lord of the Rings that had me laughing because you're
dude,
right.
That was straight up Lord of the Rings for real. There was no way of not noticing that. The arrow ceremony, right? Fucking Steppenwolf got away with the box.
Yes,
we need to warn the rest of the world.
Let's just throw
like
it out.
12 hours later, they're doing this ceremony. It's like time has passed, people. I thought this was an emergency.
Isn't this important? Yes.
Yeah. I thought there was an urgency to this.
I know. What if she's not watching the news? It's like it would be completely lost on it. And mind you, I mean, I get it. You probably don't have, I don't know, an iPhone with you. You could throw a quick email or something, but holy shit. Like, this is the best way that you can communicate. Just throw a freaking arrow.
I mean, I get the arrow point. Like, okay, fine. That's very traditional. But you figure the same urgency. Yeah, the same urgency you were to get this box out, you would still run to the arrow, run to the cliff, shoot the arrow. No. None of this. Here's the arrow.
Let's have a holiday first.
Fucking praise. I don't know who. It's like, dude, Steppenwolf could have grabbed the other two by now. What are you doing? I don't understand. So that was hilarious. And then I have this marked here for bad writing, dude. The auto defense system. I really thought that was a Joss Whedon like bullshit thing. So when Superman first wakes up and they go, oh, he's scanning us. And then out of nowhere, fucking Cyborg suddenly goes, oh, my auto defense systems.
Fuck, yes, I know. Yes.
Why is that still a thing?
So wait a minute. You control every computer in the world, even the most powerful, like NORAD missiles, like crazy, Russian missiles, like every powerful computer. You still haven't figured out your own damn self, though.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, that never happened when you were near Steppenwolf, and I thought he was a threat. It didn't happen anywhere else. I know. But here, Superman.
You're sure. Oh man, you're actually destroying my. You're destroying my illusion here.
I don't. So I don't mean to. For the record, these are just bad choices
being made, and I'm looking at it's done from. Oh, I don't even want to say.
These are the things that I just like. Oh my! As it's happening, because for the record, the same thing happened before. This is I would have bet money that was a Whedon thing. No, that was an original cut thing, and I'm just like, that's bad writing, bro. It's like you have no other reason. Let's just event one real quick so we can make this fight happen. And it wasn't glaring, I mean, bro. It's so glaring.
Yeah. It is very, yeah. You're absolutely right on that one. They didn't have they
needed a catalyst.
They needed a catalyst, exactly. There you go. Fuck, you nailed it again.
And it's just so bad, bro. It's just, and so my last one I have here is more of just I don't know if this had to happen, but his father You know, he heated up the box and that whatever. But I'm like, did he have to be inside that thing? Could he not done that from the outside? Did he have to die? Is really the question. I was like, I don't feel like there was an urgency for him to be in. He could have just hit the button and walked out. You know, I don't understand.
I thought that he was doing something still inside, you know, and he couldn't be interrupted, so that's why. And Steppenwolf came in, and he was like, "Well, fuck, I don't have time. Obviously, I'm not gonna survive." I think that might have been it. I think it might have been like, "Well, obviously, I'm not gonna survive Steppenwolf, so I'd just rather be vaporized by this."
Steppenwolf was there for the box. You just your box is there. Just leave the box there. He's gonna grab it. You know, that was the whole because that was.
Well, he still needs to heat it up though.
That's okay. It was heating up. It was already heating up. You know what I'm saying? It didn't matter. It's in the if you look at him where he was and you put him right outside the glass, you know what I'm saying? The same exact events could have happened. You know what I'm saying? And the difference is Steppenwolf would just grab the box and ran away.
I think he was already he was captured by Steppenwolf minions before. He didn't want to be recaptured again. God knows why. He probably was like, no, I'd rather die here.
I can see that. I will allow that. I'll allow that one. That's a good one. But yeah, those are the funny ones that I had where it's just question mark moments. Just like
out of the defense system though. I can't.
There's no excuse now. That's such a glaring bad writing. It's just so bad. Yeah, it's a really bad
device. Yeah, it's like, why don't you? And because you're right, how come the out of defense system never activated in front of the Steppenwolf? You know, and B, why can't you control? I thought you could control any computer.
Exactly. Like every computer, but not yourself.
Well, not yourself.
Yeah.
Is that how it is?
That works. That's how it works.
Yeah. And it's like obviously you recognize what it is because you're not like I don't know what's happening. I don't know. You're clearly know that.
Nowhere. I was like, oh god.
Yeah.
I was just like, those fights were good. And that's another example of slow-mo used well. That slow-mo scene where Flash is trying to come behind him and he, you know, you see his eyes turn.
Oh, yes, I love that. That was
beautiful. And that makes sense in slow-mo, dude. But when you have Lois Lane going to pick up coffee and it's like, why is this in slow-mo? This doesn't need to be in slow. It's just be regular speed. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. It's just, that's what I'm saying. Whereas I get the point of using coffee. Yeah, that's all that was. Take a look. Well, whenever you do look at it again, it's all in slow mo for whatever reason because this dude loves slow mo too much. So, anyway, I don't have anything else to say about it. I stick by my 3.0 for the record.
I mean, I still enjoyed it a lot. So I need. Recognizing obviously the things that you said because you took very good notes by the way, but also the fact that those are kind of like ridiculousness, but at the end of it all, I still really like the delivery and yes, it was a long movie and yes, they could have cut the last minute, but I was in nowhere there. I was bored or disinterested or kind of coughing like I can't believe they did that. No, I was in it, bro. And not even the 4x3 bothered me. You know, that's why I want to make the experiment
after a while. Yeah, to be fair, after a while, it didn't. It did at first. I was just like, why? Why is this like this? Damn it!
Right.
You know, but after a while,
I got used to it. To me, it was like, well, they decided to do it like that. I haven't seen a movie like this. Let's see how this goes.
I have. I've seen actually a few very recently that are in that on purpose.
That are But I'm not. I don't think it necessarily needs a black and white version. Like, why would you? But okay, HBO, I guess you want to like have the marketing, somebody marketing is like going nuts.
Subscribe, that's what that is,
You're making, and it seems to like, I mean, there's interest on it, obviously, before talking about it.
Honestly, dude, I feel that in this movie, with proper editing, you have an epic 3-hour Justice League film. Yeah. You edit on the long scenes that you don't need.
Clean it.
You eliminate that last half hour. The things that show where people are at, you can do that during the credits. You know, where you see Superman, Superman doing his thing, Flash, Aquaman back, whatever, doing his thing. You can do all that while the credits are rolling.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you end on that wonderful, dude, that Flash finale, the way he saves everybody and the way everybody comes back and takes out Steppenwolf is awesome. And
that's the Bioshock moment. That's what that is the would you kindly moment to me. It's like that was beautiful. It should have after that it should have just
you should have just pulled the plug at that point. And it would have ended stronger. One of the things about films is always the same thing. It comes down to what is the last thing you show your audience, because that's what they're going to walk out of a theater or walk away from a movie with. And that should have been it, not what we got. You know what I mean? What we got was confusing, didn't make any sense, is not leading to anything that you know of. And you cut back on the slow-mo and you got a nice, solid 3-hour film. And I think it would be, honestly, I would agree with your score, maybe even a little higher if it was like that. And if it was also just fucking full screen, just do it. You know what I mean? It's just, I have a fucking,
just give us the other version. Come on.
Yeah. Now I'm going to be like, hey, release the 16:9 cut, please.
If I had to choose between movies with this kind of ending and movies with no ending, I'll take this.
This is no ending, for the record.
No.
Okay.
I have my ending, and I enjoy my ending, and this is just like some bonus shot, those some behind the scenes.
It's a behind the scenes thing. It's like the Jackie Chan films where you see him all get hurt at the end. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. Well, that's how they made this. Yeah, I can agree with that. All right, guys. Well, that there brings us to the end of awesome episode 256 of GG's The Mouthful podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, please go to goodgame.rocks. Join the conversation there. We'd love to have you on board. And please like, subscribe, share the podcast with everyone. This is Mad Dog signing off this week saying, do you bleed?
That's...
love it.
There's no way for me to beat that one. Okay, all right. So I guess I'll have to take us guys home. I would say
yes.
Disney. Somewhere there's a better Star Wars new trilogy. What was it called? Rise of Skywalker. There's someone's better cut of Rise of Skywalker.
I agree.
Just, you know what? Just rewrite the whole goddamn thing. Just let's save Star Wars. Let's make Star Wars great again.
Give it back to Ryan Johnson.
There you go. There you go.
Let's see what his vision was. Come on now.
Look at what HBO is doing. Gangbangs, right? I mean, gangbang. Wow, gangbusters and probably gangbangs also.
Oh my god!
Oh
my god!
There you go. Do it, Disney. Do it. Disney gangbang.
Oh my god!
That's
Hashtag Disney gangbang.
No, I don't want to envision that, bro.
Oh my god!
I want to have my ears sunshot. My ears, my eyes sunshot.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my god!
On that note, guys, we'll see you next week.
GG!